Martinez, she'll take it all the way, lay it up and in. Big alley.
The following is a production by the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Lubbock High, Monterey, Coronado, and Estacado. All of them are perennial playoff contenders, wreaking havoc to every name on their schedule.
Oh, what a ball! What a score!
Elite? Yeah. A tradition of winning? But when did that tradition start? Was it the state championships that laid the foundation? The district titles that come on an annual basis? Or none of that at all? Maybe it's something more. And tonight, we are going to find out because the Boys of Fall are back. Presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
How about it? We welcome you back to Plains Capital Park for a clash of district foes. It's the Abilene Wylie Bulldogs, a squad that is undefeated on the road, but can the Lubbock High Westerners shake it up? We're about to see Devin Ward here alongside Carson Ward. The Ward duo's back, and we couldn't be more excited. You know, these two teams have been playing football for a long time. Abilene Wylie since 1939, Lubbock High since 1910. Carson, this is the second time these two programs have ever met, and that's kind of a crazy stat to think about.
That is crazy, but last year, Wylie took the game 43-0. It's going to be really interesting to see how Lubbock High responds because they know they don't want to take that again for a second year in a row.
No, absolutely not. Abilene Wylie, though, comes to town, a really good team. They're 4-3 on this season, but they're starting to hit the groove in district play while Lubbock High is 2-5. Let's get into some of the names that you need to know, though, for tonight. And we're going to start with the visiting team with Abilene Wylie, and it's their quarterback, Bryant Ming, a.k.a. Bear Ming. He's really good at the scramble drill where he surveys the defense, makes one or two reads, but if it's not there, Carson, watch out. He will tote the rock and run with a lot of confidence. He's really good at throwing it as well to his top target, and his top target, of course, is Malachi Daniels.
And Malachi Daniels is a certified double-digit runner, which means he can break away for 10 yards plus on any play. I went back and watched you went back actually,
I did.
Watched their film against Plainview, and the young man balled out. He lowered his pads and hit you with a power punch for a 25-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you like that line, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
A good line.
Or he will show you how shifty he is at the running back position. He is a really good running back with many talents, and we can't wait to see what talents he displays tonight.
Absolutely. Now, if you're a Lubbock High fan, you don't want to see him displaying his talents at all because, like Carson said, he's a double-digit runner on any given play. He can go for 10 yards. Now, let's look at some of the Lubbock High Westerners that you need to know coming in tonight. And a guy that's kind of personal to us is Braden Dunkerson. He is a Lubbock ISD TV student, and last week against Plainview, he ran the ball for 92 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry. He popped off for a TD, and it was a big run. The sophomore is a great guy. He'll play on both sides of the ball. He'll play running back and some outside linebacker. We love seeing some Lubbock ISD TV students balling out there.
We do, and it's just great to see that we have some talent in the program that also runs on the football field.
And we got some talent right here with this young man as well. Bryson Garza, he's been playing really well at that linebacker spot, and I know you have a lot of great things to say about him.
Yes, sir, and this Lubbock High defense gives up an average of 428 yards per game, and they miss Zeke Rodriguez a lot. Because he helps them out tremendously. But really, Bryson Garza is going to have to step up immensely against the Wylie Bulldogs to make sure that stat line doesn't happen again.
It's a big one tonight for both teams. Anytime you play district games, they matter, and they matter a lot, especially if you want to make the postseason. So you want to make sure you stick around with us. It's the Bulldogs and the Westerners. Who do you got? We're about to find out. Stay with us. We're about to have kickoff here at Lowry Field.
Martinez, she'll take it all the way, lay it up and in. Big alley.
This is a production by the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
All right, welcome back to Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. The sun is officially set, and we are ready to play some football under the Friday night lights. Devin Ward, Carson Ward, and the entire Lubbock ISD TV crew, we thank you for tuning in tonight. Carson, I'm pumped to have you up here, man.
I'm pumped to be up here.
Of course, we got Sinai over here running some stats for us and a beautiful moonshot. That's nice. Our camera crew's out here working for sure. Abilene Wylie's going to be the one kicking the ball off to the Lubbock High Westerners. And this big battle here tonight, of course, Brady Clark is the kicker for Abilene Wylie. Back deep for the Westerners is Trini Tijarina.
And you know Lubbock High is really expecting Tijarina to have a huge game tonight.
Absolutely. He is one of their big-time playmakers. See them gather it in right there. That was Derek Torres gathering that in. But when he gets grabbed around his shoulders and spun around, and he'll gain a few after that. But here comes this Westerner offense for the first time tonight. And, of course, they have a different starting quarterback tonight. I believe getting the start is going to be Zach Rainier.
And just a couple stats for Zachary Rainier. He's a sophomore to start off, but he's 28 for 48 passing all time for this season. He has 342 yards, and then he has a good 60. He averages about 68.4 yards per game passing. He has 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
I believe that was Dallas Trevino going under center on that first snap. I don't know. That was a unique formation and a number I did not recognize taking that snap right there for Lubbock High. It looked like a double-digit number. I want to look at this instant replay right here. Yeah, that was not the traditional starting quarterback for Lubbock High. It's number 55 out there for him, taking snaps underneath center. And that's Keegan Davis.
And they're going with the same formation again, trying to do the same play again.
Do you know what this is right here? This is that Philly, what is that? Tush push is what they call it, where they line up. The brotherly shove is another one that they call it. And basically you line up behind them and you just push them and see if that defense can stop you. And in the NFL, they haven't quite figured that out yet. I believe that's what we're seeing here to start this game.
Well, and you normally see it around the goal line trying to get into the end zone, but it's also really effective to get yards as they've done the past 2 plays.
Yeah, first down. Hey, if it works, why not, right? Let's test it out and give it a shot, and you're seeing it pay off here. And now you're starting to see some new players coming in the game for Lubbock High. So maybe we're going back to the more traditional style of offense as Zach Rainier now checks in at quarterback.
Well, maybe they just wanted to get an initial first down to gain a little bit of momentum and get a comfortable set on offense for them.
All right, we have our first timeout of this, and we're going to stay here. Of course, this is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. UMC Children's has been a tremendous supporter of us this season, and we're so grateful for them. This is a big one tonight for both these teams here, Carson, because, of course, district games, we alluded to it at the top of the broadcast. If you're looking at the district standings right now, Lubbock High is 0-2, and Abilene Wylie is 1-1. And they're really just getting started in this 5A Division II Region 1 district.
Well, and something that I want to note is that Lubbock High is 0-3 at home. On the flip side, Wylie is 3-0 on away games.
Yeah, and you know it's so hard to go into a new place, a different venue that you're not normally used to playing at. To me, that speaks to the maturity of Abilene Wylie, right? And they know how to travel, and that's hard to do, and they got it with their head coach, Clay Martin. Here's Trinity Arena on the whip around, finding a seam and being tackled down at the 43-yard line, close to the line of gain, Carson, and they're going to give it to him, move the chains.
Well, and like you noted earlier, that brotherly shove formation, this was very similar to that. You can run a lot of different plays to go on opposite sides of the field at any given time.
So you see the Westerners looking to this sideline right here. We talked to the officiating group pregame, and Carson, they take their job really serious, and I really enjoy that they spend time, they watch film, they study, they work together, and so the officiating crew that we have here tonight works really hard. Here's 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Dunkerson. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage and didn't really have a chance to go anywhere on that play.
Well, and just the penetration from that Abilene Wylie defensive line, getting through those initial first blocks and stuffing that gain behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, Coach Rod is a big fan of Dunkerson. He's been waiting for his shot, and the sophomore running back took advantage of his opportunity. And he wants to do well. He works hard, and he's great at following blockers and is disciplined enough to be patient and waiting for his blockers. This is number 25, Braden Dunkerson's shot here, and He did well last week. Of course, he had over 90 yards and a touchdown. And, you know, I got to talk to him a little bit as he was in class today, and he's fired up to be back out there today.
Well, and you know he's ready to just prove his worth.
Oh, man, and he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Some great speed there coming off the edge for Abilene Wylie is Garrett Allison. Allison must have read that snap perfectly because the jump that he had, Carson, coming off that line of scrimmage was elite. Look at that. Dunkerson had no shot.
He really didn't. I mean, no matter how fast your running back is, it's not going to be fast enough to get away from that edge rusher that has 2 seconds of speed already built up.
Right, he was full steam ahead as Dunkerson was getting that ball. 3rd down and 13. Trips on this close side. 5 wide receivers total here for Dallas Trevino now at quarterback. So we're seeing a 2-quarterback look here tonight for the Westerners. Trevino, the lefty, slinging it while he's on the run. Caught. Just short of the 1st down line, though, is Derek Torres. It's going to be 4th down and about 5.
That might be Lubbock High's method to this game, is to just move different players around, get different players in and out of the game to try to catch Abilene Wylie off, not offsides, but like off guard on defense.
So here comes the punt team, it looks like, for Lubbock High, as there's a lot of players running in and running out of the field. Yael Ontiveros is out there, so this is the punt team. Ontiveros, Carson, has been a staple of this Lubbock High team for what seems like a long time. You know, you watch teams and you watch these athletes, you're like, how are they have not graduated yet? I think Ontiveros might be, and Gio Cardenas for Estacado might both be in that book, and it's because they've been on varsity and on the soccer teams and involved in everything for such a long time.
And that's really what you want to see, not from all your players, is just that experience of being on a team, being surrounded by a community on the sidelines, no matter what sport you play. It's just great to see that the leadership qualities start to build from that.
So we talked to Coach Rod pregame, and we asked him his keys to victory for tonight. He talked about tackling in open space. He talked about playing 4 complete quarters and no turnovers. And to me, that sounds like a recipe in there, in and out of the hands. Great defense there by the secondary for Lubbock High. That sounds like a key to success for any game, though, right? If you win the turnover battle, if you play all 4 quarters, and if you make tackles in open space, you're going to find yourself succeeding a lot in the game of football.
Well, and I think that subtly tells us what they might have been practicing in practice.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to get those open field tackles, trying to make sure that their endurance is good enough to play all 4 quarters, because a lot of times that's hard to do.
Absolutely. Quarterback keeper here by Bear Ming. Great run. Move the chains for Abilene Wylie. He just direct snap took that at least 20 yards.
And what a run that was. And it doesn't start unless you have the blocks that he did.
Yep.
Credit to the O-line.
Yep, absolutely. 1st and 10 now from the 44-yard line. Of course, if you look at the roster, it says Bryant Ming, but I talked to some of the team, it's Bear Ming. Handoff here. Great run there by the running back, Malachi Daniels.
I feel like you always have that one friend or one teammate that their nickname is more popular than their actual name, you know?
Yeah.
And I just get that vibe from Bear Ming right there.
That's why I call Carson K. Ward. 2nd down and 1. See Ming, the clap, the snap. Looking to go to the air. A one-on-one matchup on this close side. Caught! What a catch!
Wow.
Hunter Hood. That's good for a 1st down. They're in the red zone. That was great, Carson. Carson's at a loss of words because that was such a pretty pass, Carson.
That was beautiful and just a great pass. And just staying tall in the pocket. That's all he did, was just stood tall in the pocket, waited for 1 foot of room, and he got a major completion.
Talk about a major completion and a touchdown. Give him 6. Braden Regala takes that one in for the end zone for a 9-yard pitch and catch. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
And just a very sound, very complete drive right there by the Wylie Bulldogs. If they can do that all night, then they'll be in great shape.
A very sound, a very efficient. They took, as you would say, they took what the defense gave them. They found the one-on-one matchups. They found the little seams in the defense in the little pockets, and they took it the distance. They take the early lead. Here's the extra point opportunity. Brady Clark the kicker here. High snap. The holder gathers it in, though. A low kick. The extra point's good. And it's the Bulldogs striking first and striking quick. It's 7-0.
Like I just said, that's the most complete drive you could have for a first drive. You know, really no faults in that first drive. Just a steady drive across the entire board.
If you were on a boat ride, the water was smooth there.
It was comforting.
Smooth. There was no choppiness to it at all, you know.
No seasickness today.
Not at all. Not at all. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This is our second game tonight here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. Of course, we had our first game here on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel as Abilene High defeats Coronado. Of course, Abilene Wylie here to take on the Westerners. We talked about it in pregame. This is only the second time these two teams ever played. That's just when you're only like 160, 180 miles away from a school, that kind of seems weird, right? Mm-hmm. It's unusual, maybe, you know?
It definitely does, especially whenever they're in your district, and I don't...
Well, I know this. I do know that Abilene Wylie has been a smaller school, right? And they have been building and building and building and getting more and more students. And when they made the initial jump to 5A, it was kind of tough for them. But now they're hitting their form. They're hitting their stride, and we're seeing the Bulldogs that I remember that my former school would play back in the day, that they were so good. And you see something really good right there, smothering up the Lubbock High returner at the 10-yard line. That's a tough play to start a drive.
You say that was a tough play. I say that was a great kick.
That was a great kick.
Because
Derek Torres didn't have a chance, really.
The ball just bounced, and it didn't go into the end zone. It stopped right at the 1-yard line. The returner had no choice but to pick it up and run.
Absolutely. Hey, we're starting to get some likes on the video here, Carson. We appreciate all the love here on YouTube. Of course, we're doing this completely free for our audience, which is really cool, especially in the world of streaming and paying for things that we live in.
There's a good old brotherly shove right there.
You know, football, it's a copycat game, right? Mm-hmm. You see something you like, you try to run it yourself, right? And it's kind of a form of flattering, I guess, a little bit, you know, like when somebody copies you. But if it works right, do it. Why not?
Well, it's almost like whenever the Eagles ran the Philly Special in the Super Bowl a couple years back, you know, next thing you know, every kid in their backyard is there with their their little group of friends, and they're all trying to recreate it, you know, or the Odell catch.
Oh, the one-handed catch.
They're just trying to recreate it. Like you just said, it's a copycat game.
Zach Renya in at quarterback, and it's going to be a sweep to Trinity Arena, trying to hit that outside corner and show off some of his speed. He'll be tackled down after a gain of 1. Great job, great pursuit angle by the Bulldogs there, Carson.
I have been really impressed with their defense so far in this first quarter, and just going to the ball before the ball gets there, and just beating them to where they want to go.
So here we are, 3rd down and 8. The clock is rolling, and if you're Lubbock High, right, after your defense kind of gave up a long drive like that, you want to get a first down here. Mm-hmm.
You want to get a first down, and you want to get a long drive yourself. That way your defense has time to rest, has time to gather their thoughts, meet with their coaches. That way whenever they go out on the field next, they're ready.
So here we are. It's a long 3rd down and a great pass to Derek Torres. First down, move the chains. That pass came from Dallas Trevino. They got a 2-quarterback system going here, Carson, which is kind of unique.
It's unique, but I like it. You don't see it too often, especially in the high school ranks, but they must have seen something on film where they wanted to exploit something within the defense, whether that be finding some space in between defenders or whatever the case may be, and maybe moving the quarterbacks around and swapping them in and out is what's going to develop those pockets.
Well, and a really nice thing for Coach Rod and this team is that they got 2 young quarterbacks that they're growing a lot this season. They've become a long way since the start of the season. They're good, right? And they're going to continue to develop as Dunkerson, following his blockers there, will get about 6 yards on that carry. Great first down carry by the Lubbock ISD TV student. But going back to the quarterback conversation, they're young, they're going to continue to develop, and they're going to continue to get better, and there's nothing like playing time, right? Playing time and getting those reps real time is invaluable, and their future's got to be bright with that, right? You see that and you're thinking, this is a bright spot. This is something that we got for us for the next 3 years.
Whenever they find those holes within the defense, that's a confidence builder.
Yeah.
So not only are you young and you're gaining experience, you're gaining confidence going into the next season the more times you find things that are working.
See them looking to the sideline. Of course, Dallas Trevino at quarterback. He's a lefty. I loved watching him throw the ball in the warm-up. It was a delayed handoff to Dunkerson. He breaks off of one tackle, reaching forward. He'll get to about the 30-yard line. It's going to be about 3rd down and 2. I love that second effort there by Dunkerson. Not going down on initial contact. Carson, you're going to say it, yards after contact is something beautiful to see.
I mean, that's what you want to see every football game. I can't help but saying it. You know, that's just what you want to see. That's how you define yourself as a running back, is fighting for that extra yard.
Physicality.
Every single time.
Toughness. Grit. You love to see it.
Throw a couple more at me.
I probably could. and stumbling over his feet right there, but gaining the first down. Dunkerson there points and says move the chains. He knew he had a chance to pop off or something right there, and he's frustrated, but you'll take moving the chains.
Well, in every first down, I say it all the time, especially the past couple of games, but small victories. A first down is a small victory every single time.
Were you listening to the last game?
A little bit, not a lot.
I said that like 2 or 3 times on the last game, too.
I guess I'm rubbing off on you.
You are rubbing off on me. It happens. 2:35 to go here in the first quarter. It's the second drive tonight for Lubbock High. When I love these formations that they're coming out with the rushing attack here, right? You see them line up. You see them putting their hand in the dirt, and you know that they're going to try to be physical with you.
And it's just, I've never seen a formation quite like this. I've seen very similar ones, but none quite like this. And it's just interesting because you know that they can hand the ball off to any one of those guys in the backfield. And so you really, as a defense, you don't know where they're going to go. And I think that's really why they're trying to enforce that formation so early and often in this game, is to try to catch that Wylie defense off guard.
Right, yeah, catch them in that one moment, and all you need is that one moment, right? You need that one shot to be able to hit that home run. So here's 2nd down and 10. It's another one of those end arounds with Trinity Arena, and a flag will be coming in from the backfield. We're going to hear from Jeremy Todd for the first time tonight. He's our white hat. Jeremy, what do you got for us? What did you see? Because I think he was the one that threw that flag there.
He was.
There you go. So there's Jeremy. Of course, he's my neighbor. He's looking great. He's lost a lot of weight. He's a good dude and has a great family. I see him all the time as they're walking around my neighborhood. But so they declined the penalty, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Carson, you saw there on the instant replay. Trini wasn't really able to hit that corner there, and that's what they like to do with him. They like to go sideline to sideline with him and allow his speed to be able to hit those edges.
Well, and that's what a lot of high school teams try to exploit, is going sideline to sideline, because the width of the field is a very underrated part of the field.
Yeah.
You know, you always think, all right, go deep, but it's really go to the sides, try to get around your defenders, but it's very hard to execute oftentimes.
Dallas Trevino's pass falls incomplete there. He was trying to hit Coleman kind of close to that far sideline. It was slightly underthrown, but he was doing it on the run, right? He was trying to throw it on the run and show his athletic ability, and those are so hard to complete. So here comes this punt team for the 2nd time tonight. Yael Ontiveros comes back out. Ontiveros, again, he's got a pretty good leg on him as well, but with a slight breeze in his face, that wind could be a factor for him.
I know if I'm a punter and I feel the wind or breeze just blowing in my face, I'm trying to kick that ball a little harder, just a little harder.
A little bit more, huh?
Prove I can get it deeper, but I don't have a good leg, so maybe my method is a little flawed.
All right, there you go. So it'll be a delay of game. Back him up 5 yards. Make the kick into the wind a little bit harder. Let's see if he's got the Carson in him and kick it a little harder.
Well, and that's not what you want if you're Lubbock High, because you're trying to pin them as deep as you can and now you're 5 yards further back. So now you have 5 yards to maybe put into your punt.
Here's Ontiveros' kick. It was a great snap to him. It's an end-over-end kick, and calling for a fair catch. It's muffed. Ball's on the ground. The Bulldogs recover it, and that's where they'll start at the 42-yard line. I believe that was, I'm looking at our stats over here. How many plays was that drive? Okay. All right, that's a tough penalty for the Bulldogs right there, Carson, right? Because they got that extra 5 yards from the delay of game, but the blindside block can't do that, right? In those moments where you see the opportunity, like, man, I could block this guy. If you see his back, you can't do it.
Well, and oftentimes you don't even think about it. If I'm a defender, I'm really just trying to help out my team in whatever way I can. So if I'm thinking about it myself, I'm not thinking about, oh, this is blocking back, I'm going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's intentional, but that's just
part of the game.
That's part of the game. That's part of a rivalry, if it's a rivalry.
Oh, another one-on-one matchup. They're trying to continue to go after those and target it. It was Hunter Hood once again. Look, if in offensive coordinators see these things, right? Like they circle like, hey, they got man coverage over here on Hood. They're going to go after it.
And as an opposing defensive coordinator, now you start to wonder, should I put a free safety back with that corner, try to get that what used to be a one-on-one coverage, now two-on-one coverage.
Right, yeah, bring the safety over as there's a run right there for the Bulldogs. Move the chains. On that carry was Brandon Regala. Regala is one of the names that we were looking at, you know, when we were getting ready for a pregame. He's quick. He's a guy that the Bulldogs love to use on offense. He had an injured right leg earlier this year, and they're glad to have the 5'9" senior back on the team. He's used a lot in the jet sweeps, Carson, and in the open field. Shotgun by himself is Ming. Going over the middle. Had Malachi Daniels right there. He would have had to make a spectacular one-handed catch to be able to get that one there, Carson, but that falls incomplete.
Man, Malachi Daniels was open right there.
He was in between the hash lines and in between the safeties.
But unfortunately for Bear Mang, he just had pressure in his face instantaneously. Mm-hmm. And that makes that hard. That makes that throw 10 times harder.
So here's 2nd down and 10, ball at the 43. It's going to be a handoff. Spinning out of a tackle, but great job there by Lubbock High and coming in and filling the gap right there. On that carry for the Wylie Bulldogs was Brandon Regala.
When we noted earlier the injuries that the Lubbock High defense has sustained, people are going to have to stand up, and those are the plays that they're really looking forward to.
So it's 3rd down and 10, or 3rd down and 11 now. And if you're this Lubbock High defense, you want to be on your toes a little bit, right? Because if you can get off the field, that'd be something great for you to start this game. If you want to play all 4 quarters, this is a play right here. You gotta step up. Ming feeling some pressure, looking downfield still, didn't run it. Has a receiver coming back to catch it.
Wow.
What a catch, and then breaking away from the defender. 10-6, touchdown, Bulldogs.
What a play.
The touchdown reception is Derek Evans. He broke away from a defender after he made that catch, and he was determined to get 6 there for the Bulldogs.
Man, and that was power versus power. After he caught that ball, he took a shot. The defender lowered his pads, tried to bring him down that way, but instead, he bounced off of it and went to distance.
He went the distance. We do have a Lubbock High Westerner down on the field right now, and I believe it was the defender that was trying to make the tackle on Evans that Evans broke away from. And so, of course, all of our timeouts this season are UMC Children's Hospital timeouts. Here's an instant replay of that touchdown reception there by Evans. I love how Ming did not try to run it. He continued to look down the field, find his open receiver, and then Evans did the rest. You saw there the defensive player, though, for the Westerners kind of landing hard on that shoulder as he was trying to tackle Evans. And so we're going to take a quick timeout. Of course, again, our timeouts this season are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. We'll be back right after this. Score currently 13-0. Bulldogs on top. All right, we are back. That is Markel Wine getting help off of the field right there. He is a junior for the Westerners and a big-time playmaker for them on the defensive side of the ball. And Carson, he's needing some serious help getting off of the field. As you can see there, he's really favoring that right leg, and we send positive energy to him, and hopefully we see number 7 back out there tonight.
Hopefully we do, and you hate to see injuries. I mean, that's a part of the game. We say it all the time, but you still hate to see them. You know, I mean, it's never a good thing. You never want someone to get hurt. You
Never.
know?
So this is the extra point opportunity after that touchdown. Brady Clark, the kicker. There's a flag that comes flying in from this close side here as the extra point is up and good. We're going to hear from Jeremy once again. Here. All right, so you see here on the instant replay. Oh, his leg could have gotten tangled up a little bit there. And so that's going to do it for the first quarter here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. In the nightcap of our doubleheader, as Abilene Wylie had a great start to this game. It is 14-0. We'll be back right after this. This game is being presented by the students and staff of Lubbock ISD TV.
They are proud to make a check presentation in the amount of $2,500 to the Lubbock Independent School District in recognition of their sponsorship of tonight's game. Representing the Lubbock ISD is Rick Rodriguez,
All right, welcome back to Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. See, it's a pink out tonight. They had a great pep rally today, of course, and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, and I'm rocking the pink tonight,
I wore pink at school today.
but wore purple tonight.
I don't have a pink shirt.
Oh, okay. I was, because the Bulldogs are purple, and technically we're Lubbock ISD TV. I just have to give you a hard time.
Yeah, I know you do. It wasn't planned.
Yeah, it just happens.
I wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking about, hey, this shirt's going to look good tonight.
It looks good. It's a nice shirt, man.
Thank you.
Nice shirt.
Mama Ward picked it out.
And a nice start to this game tonight for Abilene Wylie, though. They're up 14-0, getting ready to start the second quarter. Carson, they were 2 for 2 on offensive drives, leading 2 touchdowns in that first quarter.
And if you're a coach or coaching member for the Wylie Bulldogs, you're going to take that every single time because why wouldn't you? You know, like you just mentioned, you're 2 for 2 on your drives, and that means you're doing everything, not just some things. You're doing everything right on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely.
And on the flip side, you're holding your opponent to 0 points, which means you're doing something right on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. So Lubbock High on offense this season, they averaged 350 yards per game for 1,177 yards total on the ground. Of course, 1,269 through the air. They've been battling with injuries all year, though, Carson, and so they've had to have a ton of people step out throughout the course of this season. course, a big spot for them was the quarterback spot, but now they got both of their guys back, and across the middle, and it's picked off. Abilene Wylie's got it, and it's Hayden Wright with the interception.
And that ball just floated a little too long right there. And just a costly turnover. Hopefully we won't see that many times for the Westerners tonight, but that's the first one.
On the first play of this drive, just taken right away from him. You're right, Carson, it floated, but concentration there, right? He had Coleman all over him to be able to just to haul that in right there. And that's a costly turnover. And when you have a young quarterback, right, we raved about how they got two talented young guys at quarterback. It's kind of, you got to make sure this doesn't rattle them, right? Because this is a big game for your Westerners here tonight. All right, 1st and 10, ball at the 34. Ming's going to hand the ball off. And great job by that Westerner defense making the tackle. I want to go with Charlie Hogan. There was not a 19 on the roster for Lubbock High. And, you know, we were down on the field pregame, and we were talking to Gabby Trevino, and they didn't update her number on the roster either. And so there's probably a couple of them that could be a little off tonight. Of course, they're debuting these really nice, and I think these are new jerseys for Lubbock High tonight.
They did look really good.
Yeah, the side stripes, I was a big fan. 2nd down and 9, though, ball at the 33. Ming communicating with his line and his tight end. It's going to be a handoff on 2nd down. Getting to that second level of the defense is Julius Lane. I like that run right there, right? He showed his physicality right there and his shiftiness to be able to get to that second level.
Well, and another thing that I was going to add on to the end of the last play was that he always keeps his feet moving.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about any running back is just, like we mentioned earlier. Just
keep the wheels churning.
Keep the wheels turning. Get that one extra yard. You know, fight for every yard.
If the wheels on the bus go round and round, you're going to get some yardage, right? Here's another handoff. Oh, it's Ming this time on the QB keeper. He's gone. Give him 6. Bear Ming from the 28-yard line. Scampers in for the score.
And this Wylie offense is averaging 156 rushing yards per game. And now we're starting to see why. The blocks starting at the offensive line. Starting there, opening gaps for not just Bear Ming, not just the running backs, but anybody who wants to. They're opening lanes for them.
So that interception turns into some quick points for the Bulldogs as they now lead 20-0 over Lubbock High. Here's the extra point opportunity. The extra point up. And good. It's now 21-0. Abilene Wylie on top of the Lubbock High Westerners. And Carson, I think I've already talked about it already, but when you draw up the script on how you want the game to go, I don't know if Abilene Wylie imagined it would be like this, right? But it's going everything their way right now.
It is going everything their way for Wylie. And now you start to wonder, is it getting to Lubbock High? Because penalties-wise, this is the second PAT in a row where it's been offsides.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, you know, you're trying to be aggressive, trying to block the PAT, but now you wonder, is it starting to get to the defense more so than the offense?
So we did see our graphic there for our food sponsor for tonight. Of course, our food sponsor is Chick-fil-A. The number 2, spicy, large, sweet tea. Sounds really good right now. Carson, what about you, man?
Man, I'm going with a good 8-count nugget.
Ooh, okay. My son would do that too. Yeah, he's a big fan of the nuggets, yeah. Of course, they've been our Friday night food sponsor this year, and we're super grateful for them and everything they've done to keep our staff and our students nourished and ready to roll to bring you all these great broadcasts here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. Last game, Carson, I set a goal for the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. Okay, we were at like 1.76 thousand subscribers. We're sitting at 1.77. We're seeing some growth. Can we get to 1.8, though? That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think we can.
I think we can. Let's see if it can happen. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate it. Here comes the Westerners now. Trinity Arena going to get pushed out of bounds, and they'll start their drive at the 21-yard line. Tonight, this offense is now 0 for 3. They're going to try to get a new start here with this new drive. Coming off some 4 and outs. And then the interception on that last drive that turned into some quick points. What do you think we see here on this drive? I think we see a heavy dose of 25, right?
I do. I think we see a lot of running. I think we're going to see a lot of those brotherly shoves that we saw earlier in the game. I think they're just going to try to get first down after first down after first down, because even though you're not going to be able to just jump back in this game by one play on offense and one play on defense, I mean, you can. It's gonna be a large, long shot, but, I mean, you're going to want the momentum swings.
I saw Dallas Trevino go down, and I thought I saw the ball come out, but it didn't. Finish your thought, Carson.
But if you want that momentum swing, you're going to have to get the first downs. It starts with the first downs. That's how you slowly build momentum inside a drive, and that's what could lead to a touchdown.
So 2nd down and 11. Now the ball at the 20-yard line. See pink all across the stadium over here on the home side, and of course on the visiting side, the stands are pretty full tonight for Lubbock High. And of course, when you think of Lubbock ISD schools and student support, I really think Lubbock High stands out. I think their student section and the energy that they bring week in and week out is really something special.
I really think that Lubbock High student section is among the best in Lubbock ISD. I know I said it. I know I said it.
Well, you're a Coronado Mustang.
I'm a Coronado Mustang, but
Torres on the reception there. Finish your thought.
It doesn't matter what game it is. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Doesn't matter who Lubbock High is playing. The student section's always been there.
Yep.
And kind of the same way with Monterey. They're always there. And that's what you really want to see from your, not only, like if you're a player, not only from your classmates and from your friends, but if you're a faculty member, you're seeing that from your students, and that gets the school atmosphere, it just brings it up.
Right, the school spirit is definitely there at Lubbock High. If you've ever been to one of their pep rallies, their gym is completely packed.
Oh, I bet.
Completely packed. 3rd down and 9 now from the 22-yard line. Rolling to his right, surveying the defense is Trevino. Caught over the middle. That's going to be a first down. That was a big 3rd down conversion right there, Carson, as Coleman comes down with the catch.
And that was a great catch. He had to get up in the air for that.
No, for sure, and he was over the middle of the defense, too. And whenever you see a quarterback throw it across his body like that and hit a receiver across the middle, it allows that safety to be able to come over there and pop him a little bit. Coleman got hit, but he got the first down.
And right now, that's all that matters, just taking what the defense gives you, get the small victories.
Yep.
And now you have a fresh set of downs.
So 1st and 10 at the 36 now. It's going to be a handoff to Dunkerson, following his blockers, and he's going to gain about 1 or 2 on that. He was trying to be patient there, Carson, and letting the blocks develop in front of him. It's just the pursuit and the intensity of that Bulldog defense was there for it.
For me, it just feels like this Bulldog defense knows where the ball is going before the ball even is snapped, because their pursuit angles and their pursuit speed is just, it's so fast, it's so good.
Yeah. Of course, they're running a 3-4 defense here, and so they got some quick linebackers, all right, that can get downfield really quick. That pass was caught by Ethan Torres. Torres there, solid gain on that play. You like those kind of plays, right, Carson? The little chunk plays for 7, 8 yards, because those, they lead to big plays down the road, and of course, if you do that consistently, touchdowns down the road.
Well, and that's why wide receiver screens are so effective, because you throw to the one of them, and then the other 2 that are next to them, they're your blockers. You follow them, you get 8,
false start,
7, 8, maybe 9 yards.
So I was looking at as the play was getting ready to start. We're going to hear from Jeremy real quick.
Number 4, offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
So the player that I was pointing at a second ago before the false start happened, Carson, was Joe Rosendo. He had a one-on-one matchup out there on that outside and really had an island over there because he was almost close to that hash mark. So much green grass around him. I don't know. If I was the quarterback there, I would see that and be like, hey, we'll see if we can get him the ball.
I agree. I mean, you want to pre-snap, you want to look around if you're a quarterback and find what you think could be a potential mismatch to hopefully find the open receiver in the middle of the field.
All right, 3rd and 8 here. Trevino at quarterback, feeling some pressure. Rolling out. And he's going to just have to step out of bounds. He had nothing down there. Tip your cap to the defense in the secondary for the Bulldogs. Because when you're having to play in coverage for that long, it is hard to cover for that long. But he really had nothing downfield.
Well, and Joe Rosendo actually beat his man going further down the field, but with the quarterback just instantly getting rushed, he had no time to see it, and he had no time to throw it before he had to roll out.
Yeah, he got flushed out of the pocket pretty quick there. It's 4th down and 11. So here's Yael Ontiveros coming out for the 4th time today. Man, that deep snapper, he put some zip on it. It's going to be caught at the 28. Oh, wow, he got some speed out there, hitting that outside corner and getting some blocks. Running out of bounds is Braden Regala. Regala is a big-time playmaker for this team, Carson. He stands out right away.
Well, and he has to if he has a run like that. You know, it makes you wonder, hey, what's his number? What's his name?
Right, yeah.
Man, he just saw an angle and he just took it.
So we just heard from our officiating crew right there, and not 100% sure on what he said right there, but you see the Bulldogs moving forward, and they'll start this drive at the 44-yard line. Looking to see at our numbers here, Carson. We got 10 likes now. We're getting there. We're moving up, and we're slowly getting a bigger audience as well. If you're an Abilene fan, make sure you share it, or Abilene Wylie, make sure you share it with your friends. Same with the Lubbock High Westerners as well. Let everybody know that we're live here tonight. Of course, this is a student-produced show. Got students running every camera up here. I didn't look in the truck, but I have a feeling that there's a lot of students in the truck working all the different positions. I believe I heard moments ago when we heard from our producer, one of our students, Evelyn, directing. And so we have students everywhere. And without our students, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Well, and as a student, I just want to thank all of LISD TV and all of LISD for giving us the opportunities that they do, because without them, broadcasting these games wouldn't be possible.
Well, and right as we say that, too, we posted on Twitter. It's even better. Great timing. Ming trying to go over the top to Regala. Yes, sir. What a catch. As he kept his foot in bounds to haul that one in.
Toe drag swag.
Dude, that was that was beautiful is what that was. The over-the-shoulder concentration and focus to be able to haul it in, but then to be able to know where your feet are, to be able to keep it in bounds like that, that's big time.
You know what that is?
That's what?
That's an art.
It is. The field is his canvas, and he made something beautiful out of it. We are 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Daniels as he powers forward to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
I love how they're mixing up the runs and the passes just all across the offensive side of the board, because it's really keeping the Lubbock High defense on their toes, making them fight for every stop that they're making on the Abilene Wylie offense.
It's keeping us on our toes, too. We haven't been able to sit down yet. Malachi Daniels lowering his pads. The power punch. He's in. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
I said it earlier and I'll say it again. Just keeping the legs churning. It's the biggest thing that you can do as a running back, to just fight for that extra yard. I know we've already said it 3 times tonight. We're probably going to be saying it all night.
All night. Yards after contact.
There you go.
Yeah? Was that it?
Yep.
Okay, good. I was like, I don't know if you said it yet.
Nope, not yet. You beat me to it.
Bulldogs now 4 for 4 tonight when they have the football on scoring. Extra point up. It's good. It's now 28-0. Abilene Wylie on top of the Lubbock High Westerners. Abilene Wylie, we talked about it in the pregame show, man. They have really started to hit their stride, right? The losses that they've had this year have been against schools that are in higher classifications that they are in. And teams like this that want to have success in district play, they kind of stack their schedule that way. Coronado does that a lot within Lubbock ISD, right? They play an extremely hard schedule so that when they get to district, they're hitting the ground running. They've ironed out all the wrinkles, and we're seeing that with Abilene Wylie.
Well, and that's really what the goal is to, all right, if I know if I was a coach, I would want my team to play the best that they could in non-district games, because once you get to district, that's what matters.
Yeah.
You know, once you start district, that's what leads you into the playoffs if you do good. And if you, like you just mentioned, if you already are playing those better teams, you're already finding out your flaws.
Yep.
You're already working on them in practice. You're practically getting a jump start on everybody else in your district if they're not doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I want to spotlight and put a big spotlight on the LHS sub-varsity team, right? The JV guys, because they're out there working too, am I right?
They are.
And they are looking good. They have great numbers on their JV team at Lubbock High. They're currently battling injuries, but who isn't this part of the season, right? But the depth and numbers have helped with that. The coaches have done a fantastic job with the JV teams, and they're 6-1 on the season, Carson.
Man.
There is a bunch of positivity and a great vibe and pride in Westerner football, and you love hearing that. Here's the kick. It's a pooch kick, and it's going to be caught at the 29-yard line. After gaining about a handful of yards on that play, I'm trying to see who that was. That's number 54. There we go, Lucas White. You know, you're not used to seeing a guy with the OLDL on the return team, right? That's kind of different.
And you know he's just there to be the blocker, but hey, when he gets the ball, man,
dude, you know
he's happy.
Oh, dude, yeah, anybody that's an offensive lineman or defensive lineman and they get the chance to run with the ball, one, if you're the defender trying to tackle them, watch out. They're lowering their pads on you. You're going to get hit. And two, yeah, they're smiling from ear to ear. Yeah, look at him. I saw it on the YouTube instant replay, and he was a happy camper. All right, 1st and 10 now for the Westerners. It's their 5th drive of this ball game. 3rd of the 2nd quarter. All right, 1st and 10 here. It's a carry by Trevino, sliding after a gain of 9 on that play. I like that. Deception. RPO, close to a 1st down right there.
Close to a 1st down, and we mentioned it already. I mentioned it 2 times this game. Offensive line, setting up the blocks. He read which way the blocks were going. He saw that there was a gap on the right side of those blocks. He took it, got an easy 9-yard gain. And sliding at the end, protecting the ball and not getting hurt.
That's the key. That's when you know your quarterback understands his role on the team, right? If you see them sliding and understanding, look, we can live to see the next down. We have 3 more downs to get this 1st down. Dunkerson, though, getting... Oh, and the ball somehow ended up here on this close side. He got hit instantly at that line of scrimmage, Carson, and didn't have a chance.
Man, this Wylie defense has been really, really good at stopping Dunkerson in his tracks.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 here. I think this is when we were talking about the play that they started with, right? What is it called again? Because I don't want to call it the wrong thing.
The brotherly shove.
The brotherly shove. This is where you bring that back, right? Because you're 3rd and short, 3rd and really manageable, right? This is where you can get 2 yards that way, yeah?
This is where I think of a goal line situation. You're trying to punch it into the goal line.
Yeah,
you're trying to punch it into the 1st down.
Let's get the jumbo package. That ball goes incomplete, slightly overthrown to Coleman. And it's going to be 4th down, 4th and 2 now. Coach Rod looking to the sideline. You know, he's heavily involved, like any good head coach is, right? He's got a decision to make here.
And I think if you're Lubbock High, you have to go for it. You're already down 4 scores. Wylie is 4 for 4 on their offensive drive, scoring a touchdown. And you want to be able to break that up if at all possible.
Yep, Yael Ontiveros was getting ready to run out onto the field. Coach Rod told him no, and then they're sending in the big package here. And I think this is the push that we were talking about a second ago, and Wylie doesn't like it. Of course, our timeouts this season are UMC Children's Hospital timeouts. Thank you to UMC for your tremendous support this season. Carson, you're trying out a sport this year that you've played before. You kind of took a pause and you're back. Tennis. The Lubbock High tennis team has had a great year. It's been a fun group to watch. They're so competitive, and they're winning. In their most recent match, they fell just short, so they're out of the postseason now. But they represented the brand so well. They battled and competed their hearts out on the tennis courts, and we just wanted to tip our caps to them on having a great season, because every time I got on Twitter under our Lubbock ISD TV account, I would see photos of them holding up a gold trophy, and that tells you the kind of year that they had.
Man, their tennis team, I've played against them, obviously, for what would be 2 years now, and I could already tell the kind of community that they have around the team, and that's the type of community that you want to have around any team.
Absolutely. All right, so here we are. This is the 4th down here, right? Like in the first half, this is the 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see it.
This is what keeps the game alive in most perspectives for Lubbock High. You get this first down, who knows what doors could be open.
So here we are, 4th and 2 from the 42. Oh, and trying something different instead of running underneath the center. And that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a turnover on downs. On the carry for the Lubbock High Westerners right there was Keegan Davis. And you kind of see the ideal right there, right? Because they're expecting you, Carson, to be able to just go through the A gap right there. Kind of throwing them off their heels a little bit as they were trying to go off the tackle. But as we've seen many times tonight, Abilene Wylie read that like a book.
Well, and I see what they were trying to do there because they knew what Abilene Wylie was expecting. But when Abilene Wylie is showing so many players in the box, then, I mean, there's no way for Lubbock High to even stop that if you're trying to block them.
Right.
You know, they're just gonna overwhelm you, and they did that play.
I do know that, and thank you to our producer in the truck, Keegan Davis, is a name you need to know in the wrestling community because he is one of their championship-level wrestlers. Bear Ming. Oh, nearly intercepted right there. Markel Wine trying to step in front of that one. And as I talked about in the game earlier tonight, when you see the defenders like that, Carson, trying to step in front of the receiver and try to make that play, it's either a home run, an incompletion, or a strikeout. Right, that was the incompletion. The home run would have been the interception, but a lot of times the receiver could come up away with it.
Right, and at first glance, I thought that was wide open, but then I really see the defender just making his best effort to get in front of the ball, get that interception, and by golly, he almost did.
You know, you talk about effort. That's something that this Lubbock High team takes pride in, is that every play they're going to get the best effort out of their guys. 2nd down and 10 here. And that's going to move the chains. This Wylie team is so efficient, Carson.
It's been impressive. It really has.
This is their 5th drive of the game here tonight. Of course, they are 4 for 4 so far. And it's been so balanced, Carson. I think we've called out the name of at least 5 or 6 different Bulldogs getting the football.
Oh, we have.
Yeah. And if you're the offensive coordinator or the head coach or anybody on that offense, you're smiling from ear to ear because balance is so important in the game. Another great first down play there for the Bulldogs. It's Derek Evans on the reception. Of course, Evans already has a TD today.
And a flag just got thrown 10 yards into the air.
Man. So you're telling me the official's got an arm, huh?
Oh, he's got one. He just proved it.
I'm anxious to hear what they have to say. Here's Jeremy.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 12, defense. That's going to be half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
You know, Carson, that could have been a carryover from the previous play where we saw the defender that stepped in front of the ball to stop it kind of get popped a little bit. And this could be something that they were trying to step up and retaliate for their guy a little bit. The officials, though, did the right thing here, right? You got to shut it down now, otherwise this could carry over for the rest of the game.
Well, and they told us pregame they're not going to throw a penalty unless it's visible to the eye and for everyone to see. And that was pretty clear.
That was a direct quote, too, from Jeremy. Look at you, man.
I take notes.
Dude, you are good at what you do. I'll give you that, man.
Well, thank you.
You were good at what you do. 2nd down and 3. About to be under 3 minutes to go here in this first half. Of course, coming up at halftime, we have our highlight show where we highlight all the great things happening in our district. We also have we're going to have some of our highlights from the first half and some stats. It's going to be an awesome halftime show. You want to stick around and see it. Of course, that's a touchdown.
Wow.
That was an awesome pass and an awesome catch on the reception there for the Bulldog touchdown is Derek Evans once again.
And they ran the same play at least on one half of the field 3 times in a row. It's that short curl route.
Oh, wow, what a catch, too. That was the fingertips. if you were playing baseball, that's the snow cone catch right there. But then the concentration for the foot grab, the toe tap, that's insane, dude.
Man, it's
Evans, big time stuff.
That's stuff you can't even teach most of the time. You know, you demonstrate it, you show it, but then that's just knowing, that's your awareness kicking in for you.
I don't know, man. That's definitely something I practiced in my grandma's backyard on Thanksgiving many times with the cousin. You know, the catch the toe tap, dive into the ground.
Plus the Odell catch.
Oh, you already know. You already know. Great catch by Evans there, and the Bulldogs extend their lead. It's 35-0.
Man, I've said it once and I've said it again. I have been impressed with how the Wylie Bulldogs have played this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Carson, I'm looking at our upcoming broadcasting schedule, right? After tonight, we are down to our last 3 games, Carson.
Man.
That is insane in the membrane. That's a new one, isn't it?
That's a new one. I like it.
I'm, you know, Carson was in my class last year, and you know, he thought he knew all my sayings, but I gotta keep you on your toes, you know.
They call you the king of cheese for a reason.
It is, yeah,
you know?
yeah. So we have a game with Abilene Cooper taking on Lubbock ISD on Thursday the 26th. Coronado and Monterey, the one that everybody really circles on their schedule, right? Because there's nothing that beats that rivalry. Okay, that's on the 27th, and then Friday the 3rd of November. Woohoo, we're playing. We're gonna have some football in November on the air as Lakeview takes on Estacado. Carson will be back in the booth for that one.
And I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for it to. I'm excited for that game. I'm excited to commentate another Estacado game.
Estacado's good. They had a fluke last night. I've never seen a team shut down them offensively like that before. And so let's hope it's a fluke, right? Hopefully, you know. And coach talked with his team after the game, and he talked to them about, hey, if you take care of business and you do what you're supposed to do every day, you could see that Brownwood team again. Right? It would take them making it to the 4th round of the playoffs to be able to see that Brownwood team again. But I think every one of those Estacado players wants another crack at them, right? And so I think they're going to do what they got to do to be able to get to that point.
Well, and I know from personal experiences, whenever I lose to a team that I specifically contributed to that loss, I want another crack at it. I want another opportunity to prove, hey, I can hang with these guys, you know, and especially in baseball. You know, it's a team sport, but it's surrounded by individual stats.
Right.
You know, and if one player does bad or doesn't have the best game, then that could feed off into into your teammates. And knowing that you could possibly be the start of that, it's something that you want another crack at. And I'm pointing me out.
That's the competitor in you, right?
Yeah.
And every one of those Estacado athletes are big-time competitors. You could see what it meant to them when they were leaving the field yesterday. So I'm excited to see them bounce back. Right?
Man.
Watch out for whoever's next on their schedule because they're going to get an upset. I think it's Big Spring. They're going to get an upset Estacado team.
Yeah, they are.
Here's 2nd down and 9. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Slinging it on the run, connecting to Trinity Tijarina. Makes a great move to get a few more yards. It's going to be 2nd and long, turned to 3rd down and really manageable here, Carson.
And I think this is most definitely 4th down territory. If it even comes to that. We're on 3rd down right now, but a minute and a half left to go in this first half. And you're wondering if we could see some sparks from Lubbock High.
Ooh, I see what they're doing here. It's the quick passes trying to let your guys get there, but great tackles by Abilene Wylie to get Zach Reyna on the ground basically immediately. Now, when you see Zach Reyna out on the field as well as Trevino, that means you got both of your quarterbacks out there. And that's kind of a unique concept right there because the guy that just caught the ball is your backup or could be your starting quarterback on any given day.
Right, but that could also mean that maybe there might be a little trick play. You know, you backward lateral it to the other quarterback and then they throw it downfield because we've seen that happen with receivers, but obviously if a quarterback's the one throwing the ball, they have a much better arm than receivers.
It's going to be a timeout on the field. Coach Rod's going to call the timeout. Of course, all of our timeouts are UMC Children's Hospital timeouts. UMC Children's Hospital is the official hospital for Children's Miracle Network. Of course, you've probably been a part of that, Carson. Were you were you considered a miracle child or anything like that in your time period when you were there?
I was. I mean, I don't know if I was considered a miracle child, but I had miracle workers that were feeding into the program, and man, I can't say thank y'all enough for everything that y'all are doing. You know, I feel like a lot of people are donating to things that they don't know that what the outcome is or what it's specifically for, but those miracle workers, they know, or miracle makers is what they're called, miracle makers. They know what they're doing, and they know what they're donating for, and man, I can't thank y'all enough.
All right, so we got another 4th down here for the Westerners. You see them going back to that physical brand of football look here. It's going to be a handoff to Dunkerson, trying to go off that right guard, and not happening. The Bulldogs force a turnover on downs. Dunkerson didn't really have a shot there once again. They get past that offensive line, and he had nowhere to go. And so with 31 seconds to go, the Bulldogs have another shot. Of course, you see Hannah right there on the right side of the screen. She just stuck her tongue out. Now she's wearing the pink hat. Carson, she went from being in the booth where you were, wearing the headphones, and now she's down there rooting on her team. It's really cool.
It's great, and you know that shows her commitment to not only LIC TV but also to her school. You know,
she is a Westerner through and through. That's the truth. All right, so 1st and 10, ball at the 44-yard line. 31 seconds to go here. What do the Bulldogs have in store for us? Looks like they got a new quarterback in the game. They do. In and out of the hands of the defender there. The quarterback that just checked in is Keegan Anderson. And you see Anderson there. He has an arm on himself as well. That was a quite impressive ball, even though it was almost intercepted there by the Westerner. You can tell he could throw it.
Oh, and he wasn't scared to let that ball go either. I mean, I guess you could consider that double coverage, even though the defenders were behind the receiver. But man, he wasn't afraid to get the ball to that receiver and to possibly get him into space.
All right, 2nd and 10. Stepping up in the pocket. Has a receiver. He's got him. To the 10. Trying to stutter step and will be thrown out of bounds is Braden Regala. That was a great pass there by Keegan Anderson.
Man, 2 great throws in a row.
And then again, the clock is stopped here, so it's 17 seconds from the 5-yard line. You know the Bulldogs would love to punch another one in right here. All right, so there's the second charge timeout, of course. Once again, it's the UMC Children's Hospital timeout. You know, we also had a food sponsor tonight. We kind of talked about it in the first quarter, Carson, and about what we would eat from Chick-fil-A. My fact from the first half, or from the first game that we had today is, do you know what the A in Chick-fil-A means?
I would love to guess, but I can't even think of one.
So it doesn't mean filet. It means grade A, because the food's grade A, right?
Well, it's the Lord's Chicken. It's got to be grade A.
It's grade A. So Chick-fil-A, thank you for taking care of us this football season on Friday nights and feeding our crew. I saw a lot of hungry students in between our 2 games, and Chick-fil-A was there for them.
Man, they delivered, didn't they?
They did. They did. Super grateful for everybody that helps take care of us this season. All right, 1st and goal. Ball at the 5-yard line. 17 seconds to go. The Bulldogs have one more timeout. So if they don't get something here, they do have that in their back pocket. Anderson go to the air. The toe tap once again. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Touchdown, Abilene Wylie. The reception is Hunter Hood. And that's good for another Bulldog touchdown.
Well, and what I was going to mention earlier was that you already know, even though the Bulldogs were at midfield with 30 seconds left, you know they were going to try going down the field, getting another score, at least a field goal. But you know for a fact they wanted more, and they got more.
They got more. They are now a perfect 6 for 6 when they have the football tonight of putting the ball in the pay dirt. And if there's a box for efficient, they've checked it so far here in the first half.
They have. They most certainly have.
Extra point up. Good. It's 42-0. Bulldogs on top of the Westerners. You see the bands, moments ago getting ready for their show. Of course, Lubbock High's got a tremendous show. Got to watch it during Band Extravaganza. And I think we might be able to show it during halftime. I know during our last game tonight, we or earlier game rather, we were able to show off some of the bands. You see the Abilene Wylie band. They look like they're having a lot of fun down there, and rightfully so. They've had a lot to celebrate tonight, Carson.
They have. They most certainly have. Their football team has been playing lights out. I've said it once, I'll say it again. They've been impressive. This Wylie Bulldogs team has been quite impressive tonight.
If we were writing a paper, I would have put impressive in all caps. You know what I'm saying?
I would have italicized it. I would have underlined it. I would have made it bold.
Yeah, they've been impressive. But when we were getting ready for this game, Carson, we kind of knew that the Bulldogs were hitting their stride at the right time, and they've been playing a really good brand of football. And Lubbock High is going to have to bring their A game tonight. So here's the kickoff. Of course, we got 10 seconds to go in halftime. So Carson, be ready for your first half thoughts. It's been put on your plate now, okay?
I think I've already touched on it a couple times.
At least 5 times.
At least. I might have to make it 6 here in a couple minutes, or a couple seconds rather.
Right. It's a little dribbler kick, and the ball's on the ground, recovered, and so they'll get this here at the 24-yard line. You got to think they take a knee here and go to break, or?
I think you do. I think you do. There's no reason to try to force something down the field that could be quite risky. You know, I mean, obviously you want to get points, but sometimes it's better just take it into the half, recoup, regather, and just try to come out guns blazing in the second half. Make your second half adjustments and hopefully make them work.
You know, we talk about second half adjustments. What I've noticed in the last 2 games preparing for tonight when I was watching the Westerners film is that they come out in that second half really good. Against Plainview, against Paladuro, they were a second half team, and it shows in the film. That pass is completed, and that's going to do it for the first half. It's 42-0. Bulldogs on top of the Westerners. Abilene Wylie's having themselves a night tonight.
They are. They most certainly are, and it'll be interesting to see how Lubbock High responds going into this second half, but until then, we have a 42-0 game.
We do, and we have a 28-minute halftime coming your way right now. So we're going to have our highlight show. We're going to have so much more coming back. So when we return, we'll have more exciting football here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. Stay with us. This game is being presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
LISD TV will return after this short break.
Welcome to Highlights. I'm Erin Gregg, joined by our production team of Lubbock ISD TV students. Health science specialists remain in high demand, and Lubbock ISD is proud to educate our next generation of professionals. Recently, practicum students at the Byron Martin Advanced Technology Center took part in a special ceremony to mark the start of their off-site training. We spoke with students about achieving this milestone.
Beside each student, you will see...
Well, today we did a ceremony for scrubs where they introduce us to the parents. They show us what we do, take our vows, and then they give us the scrubs and let us take pictures with each other.
It's quite an honor. I love the medical field, and so to be able to have something that's a part of that is a really big deal.
The program that I'm currently is a Certified Patient Care Technician, which is CPCT, and then CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. So for CPCT, we specialize in EKGs. We get EKG certified and phlebotomist certified. And then we get to learn the basic patient care for patients, basically in the hospital. And then for CNA, we just basically aid in the nursing homes and hospitals.
I'm in the pharmacy technician program here at the ATC. So we learn our drugs, and so we have a list of over like 200 drugs that we have to memorize 3 names for, their generic, their trade, and also their category. Next step is clinicals. So we get to go to both Covenant and United and work in like a real pharmacy setting. I'm quite excited.
Outside for me personally, I get to work at a surgery center. I get to help and do heart surgeries. And I get to do what's called left heart catheterizations, which we get a view of the heart inside, and we get to do pacemakers, ICDs, and all that fun stuff.
Well, my uncle's a pharmacist himself, so I'm really excited because that's what I want to do for my career. So with that in mind, I just want to be in that setting, and I want to learn how to do more with that.
Basically, what helped me is the teachers. They were able to provide like enough information for me to get to understand it. And I would say for anybody, those who are looking into it, they should definitely take a look at it and join it possibly. It's a really good program.
I think more people should do it. I think they should take advantage of it, especially since it's not something that's offered everywhere. I feel like this is a really big blessing for LISD to have.
Congratulations to all of our Scrubs recipients on your success. And for students interested in health sciences, we encourage you to speak with your counselor about all of the courses that we have available. We also want to let our community members know that all courses at the ATC have an advisory committee. Our instructors meet with industry professionals to make sure our students learn the most up-to-date skills needed for employment. If you'd like to serve on a committee, please reach out to our Byron Martin ATC at 806-219-2800. Stacy Carter is joining us in studio today. Stacy is our Director of School Safety and Security, and today we're talking about some special curriculum for our students. So Stacy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we have you here because our families have likely seen communication this semester about some new curriculum for our students around some new topics. And so tell us a little bit about where this came from.
Absolutely. So the Texas legislators wrote into some new laws, Senate Bill 9 and Senate Bill 11. And so at the beginning of the semester, they saw some Senate Bill 11 stuff that came out, and that was our Start with Hello week. But going into November, we're really focusing on the Senate Bill 9. And basically, we have to provide instruction to our kids on child abuse, dating violence, sex trafficking, all of those kinds of topics. And so to do that, in our elementary schools, we're implementing the Child Protection Unit, which is a curriculum from Second Step. And then in our secondary schools, we're putting in Play It Safe. And that'll be actually presented by our Children's Advocacy Center here in Lubbock.
Okay, so let's go back to the first one with the Start with Hello. And so tell us a little bit more about what that initiative is about and what the curriculum details are.
So for the Start with Hello, it's Senate Bill 11, and so that's our bullying and suicide prevention. So basically the Start with Hello curriculum was designed to basically get kids talking to each other, and when they see kids sitting alone, to engage with them and have conversations with them, because we don't want kids to feel isolated while they're at school. We really want them to be included and have friend groups of that kind. And so we'll see that again in the spring with our Say Something curriculum as well.
Well, and some of that material also came from the Sandy Hook Promise.
Yes.
And so that's where some of the curriculum is from, just to encourage that talking and being aware of students that may be having issues with bullying or mental health issues.
Exactly.
And then going into the second part, which I think we just sent out in the last week or two, tell us a little bit more about the Child Protection Unit.
So the Child Protection Unit, we have scripted lessons that are pre-K all the way through 5th grade. And basically it's teaching kids just ways to be safe. So just safety in general, from bike safety to not talking to strangers, but then it also goes into talking to kids about safe and unsafe touches, which is really important, and not keeping secrets from their parents and reporting things like that when an adult is asking them to do those kinds of things. So in that curriculum, that's being administered by our school counselors, because they've had extra training on how to handle outcries and things of that nature if a kid makes an outcry at school. But they basically do the curriculum, they walk through some scenarios with the kids, just kind of giving them a foundation to help themselves when they find themselves in a situation that could be unsafe.
Well, and our families may not remember this because it feels like registration was a long time ago, but they did have the opportunity to opt in or opt out of this training. And so if they're curious about that, or if they want to change their selection, how can they do that?
So they can contact our department. We have a spreadsheet for every school, and we basically just look up their students and verify what choice they selected, and then they can change their option at any time. So even if they get into the curriculum and they really don't like the direction it's going, or they don't like a certain lesson that's coming up, they can always call us and opt out at any point.
Well, and that brings up a great question too, because we do have details about what is in these lessons, and where can they find that information?
So they can, we sent the email out, and that also contains some Google forms that they could fill out, because the material is copyright. So we can't just put it on our public-facing website, but they can fill out the Google form, and then I email them directly the content that's going to be in every single grade level. So we don't just give them like their kids' grade level, we give them the grade levels before and after, so they can see the whole spectrum of the curriculum that's being presented. And I just email that out to them, and they can see the scripts and the lessons and everything that goes with it.
Well, we have it all in one place.
Exactly.
Well, Stacy, I know this is important, and it's a lot of information to cram into a short interview, but for more information, they can visit your school website or contact your office, and you can give them all the details.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, let's go on location with Sydney Kim.
Hey everyone, we're on location at Hutchinson Middle School, where students of multiple creative classes are coming together to create something fun for Day of the Dead. Let's take a look. What are we doing today here at Hutchinson Middle School?
Well, we're just like taking pictures of models who have Day of the Dead makeup on to celebrate the new life that ancestors have whenever they pass on.
Go a little bit more in depth. What is Day of the Dead?
So Day of the Dead, it's usually celebrated in Mexico, but it's all about remembering the dead. And it's not necessarily just a funeral, it's about a celebration of the next life that they're going to have afterwards.
What does Day of the Dead usually look like in different countries and cultures?
Well, there's a lot of symbols that are used, like marigolds that you have on your headpiece. And like there's different colors that mean different things. So orange is used to like guide the dead and to like show where they're supposed to go.
And what other events happen usually besides being dressed up? What other things happen usually Dia de los Muertos?
Usually families will go to their relatives' graves and they'll put food around it and have like candles and flowers. They'll also have an ofrenda where it has food and like pictures of them, stuff that they were into, kind of. They just put their personality on it.
There's multiple classes. What classes are involved for this?
We have technical theater who's doing the makeup, we have photography who's taking the pictures, and then we have some LHS volunteers.
I feel like having high school students come to like the middle schools teach a lot to the students.
How do you feel about being a volunteer?
I feel pretty good about this. You know, it's one of my first times ever volunteering, especially here at Hutch. And I'm already having a blast. I'm having a great time working with the middle school students and of course working with other LHS, students.
What role do you have in doing all of this?
My role right now is doing makeup on my model, but sometimes I am the model.
Do you prefer being the model or being the makeup artist?
Honestly, I've always been kind of camera shy. It's kind of ironic, but sometimes I really feel like just putting myself out there, and sometimes, like right now, I just feel like doing someone's makeup.
What have you learned about Day of the Dead and doing makeup for Day of the Dead?
I've learned that there is a lot of culture and tradition, and just I have a lot of respect for it.
Why do you think this is important to be able to make lessons or learn about things like this?
I think it's important so that we can just be culturally active and just know what's going on around us and also celebrate our ancestors as well. I think it's just important to honor those who've passed on and honor the traditions that other people might have, and even if we don't have those as well.
We're having a great time here at Hutchinson Middle School campus. There are other Fall Festival and Day of the Dead events happening soon. To learn more, go to your campus websites or check online on social media. Back to you, Erin.
Thanks, Sydney. With colder weather upon us, students at Dunbar College Preparatory Academy are keeping warm thanks to a generous donation from 3 of our partners in education. But new sweatshirts aren't all that these partners provided. Phyllis Underwood shares more.
We wanted to give back to Dunbar in a meaningful way through our Feeding Student Success Initiative that will start in 2020. So we have our food truck that's here behind us. We're feeding the entire student body and the staff. And then we're going inside with the Kiko Law Firm and Reliant Energy to surprise the school in a big way. We have all teamed up together and provided their sweaters for the fall and winter.
And I'm sponsoring the 360 video camera that you can see behind, just for the kids to, after they get their Whataburger, to have some fun behind the camera. Additionally, we sponsored the actual printing of these sweatshirts. So we printed all those, got those done for all the students.
And we are also going to be providing them with checks for school grants.
Share that Reliant is donating $1,000 to Dunbar Preparatory Academy.
Today we were so excited to give a $1,000 grant to Dunbar Preparatory Academy. Education is very important to us We also are very passionate about community service and being a positive force in the communities where we live and work.
Lubbock ISD is a big part of our community for obvious reason of having all the students, so we just really were lucky to have the opportunity to join in with Whataburger and Reliant just to help the community. I mean, especially just one, having the winter cold gear is really important, but also showing the school pride. Being able to have every student have the same item to wear, showing their school through sports events or anything else, I think is just really important.
Our students are our future. If we don't support our students when they're young and impressionable, what is the future? So with our Feeding Student Success that was started in 2020, Whataburger really wants to push that. They could end up being our next CEO, our next line cook. Everything counts and helps, and we want to be there to support it.
A child's future looks so much brighter if they can get proper education and access and resources, and we understand that, and we'll always do what we can when we can to help support those programs. I am all about that. I was a former college recruiter, so I know what it takes to be attracted to colleges. In LISD, from its IB programming to its after school to its concentration on STEM and the arts, it does it all, and I absolutely love the Byron Martin ATC. All of the stuff that we do there, I wish would have been available when I was in high school. So I absolutely love the different programming that LISD has to offer.
We love supporting Lubbock ISD. Anything we can do with Lubbock ISD is fun. We're here to support you and your students. So thank y'all for the support y'all give us.
Thank you again to Whataburger, Reliant Energy, and the Keekler Law Firm. If you would like to become one of our partners, please contact Phyllis Underwood with the information on your screen. And you can check out our past partner stories online at LubbockISDTV.com. Coming up on the calendar, we want to let families know about Goals Day. All students will not have school on Wednesday, November 1st. During this time, our teachers will either meet with families in person or make contact by phone to update student progress. Keep up to date with all of the wonderful things happening in Lubbock ISD by downloading our new app. It has a lot of updated features to help keep you connected with the district and your student's campus. The app is free and easy to download. Just search for Lubbock ISD in the App Store or Google Play. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week to highlight more great opportunities only in Lubbock ISD.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Hello, my name is Nevaeh.
Hello, my name is Isaac.
Hello, my name is Abby.
And I'm one of the many Lubbock ISD TV students bringing you tonight's live stream.
If you appreciate our coverage, we hope you'll consider one of our sponsorship opportunities.
Your support gives us the opportunity to travel to state and national competitions,
where we represent our entire district in audio and video production contests.
Last season, our students received multiple awards in Skills USA and the Student Television Network.
If you'd like to support us, contact Kenneth Dixon with the information on your screen.
And thank you for watching.
Career Day at Bean Elementary saw the Broncos visiting with a wide range of professionals, inspiring students to seek out career opportunities that align with their interests.
We talked to the softball coach and a newspaper girl. One of them, they worked at Amigos United.
Lubbock ISD students also visited the South Plains Career Expo at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. Groups visited with different employers and schools to explore the many opportunities that are available to them. Students from our Vocational Transition Center continue to support the South Plains Food Bank. The students volunteer their time to organize food bags, and this month they are also helping with Halloween prep.
We have Spooky Orchard coming up on October the 28th, and we are having our VTC students right now help us bag candy for that event.
Hutchinson Middle School continued their tradition of celebrating Dia de los Muertos. The Day of the Dead activities included theater students who did the makeup and styled models for photography students to photograph.
Good morning!
Matador Mondays kicked off at Alderson Elementary. Estacado High School students and staff welcomed the Eagles to class. Estacado plans to visit each of their feeder schools to continue to strengthen connections and their Matador pride.
You got to come out here sometimes, support the kids, talk to them, let them know it's good to stay in school, be an athlete, nothing wrong with it.
The Talkington School for Young Women Leaders celebrated student achievement during the Honors Sweater Ceremony. The award recognizes students who meet honor status with a 4.2 GPA or higher, and students who achieve an AP Scholar title for receiving a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. Fourth and fifth graders at Honey Elementary hosted a totally rad 40th birthday celebration concert at the Buddy Holly Hall. Founded in 1983, Honey is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year with different activities. During the concert, students highlighted the history of the school and then performed several special songs. Now you're in the loop with Lubbock ISD.
Young, and the LA Cabinet Administrative Team. LISD Superintendent.
All right, we're back. 28 minutes is almost gone. That's a long halftime, Carson. But we got to enjoy a lot of really cool things. Got to watch the bands, got to see some of the highlights from across our school district. And we're about to see some of the highlights from the first half. And, of course, the score 42-0. Let's get into some of those highlights from the first half. And if you watch the first half, you're going to be knowing what's coming your way, right? It's a lot of the team that's rocking the purple and white tonight. Of course, this is one of their first touchdown passes. That was Bear Ming to Brandon Regala. He had himself a night. Another Bear Ming pass this time. I want to say this one's to Derek Evans. Evans has been sensational. Yep, that is to Derek Evans. Of course, he broke away from that tackle, took that one to the house. That was a 57-yard touchdown pass to Evans. Bear Ming, of course, handed the ball off here for a touchdown to, who was that? Name leaving me there. We highlighted him today. Of course,
Malachi Daniels.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, this was the final touchdown pass from Keegan Anderson to Hunter Hood. Of course, it was good as they continue to shine bright here in the first half. They did what they wanted to, and they were able to have a lot of success, not only just on offense, but on defense as well. As you'll see them intercept the ball here, and they caused a lot of problems for that Lubbock High offense. What I did see from the Lubbock High offense from that first drive, though, was the brotherly push, as we call it here tonight. Trying to debut some new things into the offense, Carson, to be able to open some gaps, open some seams, open some pockets in that defense.
Well, and there has been a lot of things working for Lubbock High. It's just a matter of they haven't been able to convert on fourth down. They've been pushed into third downs that they haven't been able to convert. That leads them into punts. You know, it's just things have been open for them, and they've been taking them whenever they have them, but ultimately just falling up short right there at the end.
Here's our stats from the halftime, and we were talking with our team up here. Of course, 304 total yards for Abilene Wylie, 95 for Lubbock High. But the one thing that really pops out to us for some reason is that time of possession. Carson's a firm believer that it's kind of weird looking, right? The 17 minutes to 9-minute ratio there, and that really does stand out a little bit. The first downs, of course, in favor of Abilene Wylie. Same with and the total plays as well. Carson, take a look at that. 31-23 in favor of Lubbock High.
Well, and normally, I say normally, but in a lot of times, when you're dominating time of possession, you're dominating the game because you're not letting your defense be on the field as much.
Right.
That's not been the case because Wylie has been able to hit the big play tonight.
Yeah, they've been able to score when they want to, right? They've not taken a lot of time off the clock because they're scoring quick. That's just simply what it is tonight. 42-0 is your halftime stats. You see it there. If you're a Lubbock High fan, you're hoping your team does what they've been able to do over the course of the last couple games, which is make some adjustments at halftime, right? And go out there and make some changes out there and make some impacts to this game.
Well, and with 304 total yards already for Wylie, they're almost already at their season average, which is 329.7 per game. They just need one drive and they beat that, you know?
Right,
and so we know that they're going to get more yards, that we know that Lubbock High is going to get more yards, but man, we just hope that Lubbock High can find something that'll go their way and ultimately lead to a score.
So both teams have been distributing the ball really well across a whole different group of players, right? And if you look on the side of Abilene Wylie, Brandon Regalia leads them in all-purpose yards with 124 all-purpose yards. Derek Evans, of course, 71 all-purpose yards. Bear Ming, 57 all-purpose yards. Hunter Hood, Julius Lane, and Malachi Davis, or Daniels rather, round out the players that have accounted for yardage for Abilene Wylie. On the other side for Lubbock High, Derek Torres, Zach Rania, Trinity Arena, Dallas Trevino, Joshua Coleman, Ethan Torres, and Braden Duckerson all have yardage. And to me, that's awesome to see because it means you're spreading the ball around and a lot of different people are touching the football for Lubbock High.
Well, and ultimately, you want to get as many playmakers as you can. You want to get them the ball in space, you know, and the more playmakers you get the ball to, the more chances they have to get plays in space. As we see a huge return here.
Absolutely, and a flag did come flying in. That's deep into Westerner territory. What a big-time return there for Abilene Wylie's Jaden Lucero. That's a big-time play there to start out the second half.
Man,
I think they picked up right where they left off.
We've said it before. I mean, they've been able to do what they want this game. But a holding on Wylie is going to set them back and bring them back to, I think, the spot of the foul.
Yeah, and that's deep into their territory. So they were going to be deep in Westerner territory around the 34-yard line. Scratch that. The flag, that went flying across the field. Again, our officiating crew must focus heavy on, like, throwing their flags or something because they can throw it.
Man, I think they're getting ready for their flag football league.
Hey, that's a good line right there, Carson. I like that one a lot. 1st and 10, though, for the Bulldogs at their 12-yard line. They got to go 88 yards if they want to be able to score here. Start things off. Anderson back in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. It's going to be a handoff here on 1st down. Julius Lane there, showing that he can run between the tackles right there and play with some force.
Well, and for the Lubbock High defense, after that penalty, you're thinking, man, this is a big sigh of relief for them because now they're not fighting in their territory quite yet. They're not really feeling like they're already on the ropes, all the pressure's on them. Now they can apply the pressure to the Wylie offense.
Of course, this is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. That's Taj Whitfield right there, struggling to get off the field. Love seeing him get up under his own power, though, and be able to walk off the field as he's grabbing the back of his right leg near the hamstring, it looks like. Hopefully he can get back out there.
Well, and I know it's October, Mr. Ward, but it's still cramping season. It's always cramping season.
Cramping season.
And it looked to me like that's what it was, but man, it still hurts. It hurts inside me to see someone get hurt, you know.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 4 here. Powering forward, getting just enough for the 1st down. Move the chains. The Bulldogs get a 1st down. You know, when I was growing up, you talk about October, Carson. You know, my parents always told me if there's a burr at the end of the month, it's supposed to be cold. And I'm looking down in the stands tonight, and there's nobody wearing jackets.
It's a beautiful night tonight.
It is a beautiful night tonight. We are 1st and 10. Whoa, what was that?
My hand, sorry.
No, you're good. 1st and 10 here. Pass caught. He pushed out of bounds at the 29-yard line. On the reception is Heath Shime. See here on the instant replay, Anderson, of course, not the normal starting quarterback. Bear Ming, of course, had a great 1st half, but in games like this, right, you like seeing Anderson getting a lot of reps here because you never know in the games throughout the season where he might be needed. second down carry. He's going to equal a first down. Back to back.
Well, and I want to highlight some Bear Mang stats for you because he's been doing this all year.
Yeah.
You know, he's 83 for 138 passing. He has 1,209 yards. He's averaging, or he actually has a 0.6% completion percentage, which is really good, really good. He's got 14.6 average yards per completion. He's got 172.7 average yards per game. He has 13 touchdowns and 4 picks. So games like these are in his arsenal. Like, he's used to them, you know?
So you said he had 6 touchdowns, correct?
He had 13 touchdowns.
We'll make it 16 after tonight and add another 165 yards to what his total was.
Man,
he's been special. He finished tonight, if his night is complete, Carson, he went 6 for 10 passing for 165 yards. 57 was his longest pass, and he had 3 touchdowns.
He has been spectacular tonight.
Of course, Keegan Anderson now in at quarterback, and he's picked up right where Bear Ming left off, right? They continue to march down the field, getting first down after first down. They say that pass was incomplete. Must have fell in and out of the hands of Shine.
Well, in the moment that Anderson came in the game, he was slinging the rock. He wanted that. I mean, it was right there at the end of the first half. They wanted to get another score right before the half break, and he did. And he did so by slinging the rock down the field. He wasn't afraid to throw in a double coverage like he did the first time. And then he found the wide open target on the right numbers.
Oh, and talk about a wide open target right there. Great run there on 3rd down and 1. They went from the 44 in their own territory to the 36 deep in Westerner territory. Great run there by Julius Lane. Lane found a lane right there. It made a big play.
He did, and that offensive line is going to work, making those holes bigger than as big as a semi-truck can fit through.
Yeah.
And that's what you like to see if you're an offensive line coach.
Oh, 100%. Oh, and you know the guys that block love to do it. A 50-50 ball right there. Great defense by Lubbock High. On the defense there was Markel Wine. He seems to be all over the place tonight on that secondary. Or they just keep messing up and keep throwing it in his neighborhood.
He's been the one that I've seen been trying to make the plays. You know, he had almost the interception in the first half. He almost could have had one right there. You know, he's just been flying to the ball. And we talked about it earlier, effort. You know, how much effort you put into the game is how much effort you're gonna, or how much success you're gonna get out of it.
It's gonna be a handoff by Lane. Move the chains. He's still going. He's not gonna be denied. It's gonna take a whole army of Westerners to take him down as they continue to push the pile forward. He'll be taken down at the 1-yard line. That was a 35-yard run, and the last 10 yards of it, he fought for every bit of it.
Well, and you know, Julius Lane is 6'2", 210 pounds, so this Lubbock High defense surely doesn't want to tackle him, but they're gonna have to if they want to have some success on their side of the ball.
Okay, I see you, camera 5 over there with that great look. That's an awesome look right there. All right, 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Anderson hands it off to Lane. Give him 6. Touchdown, Bulldogs. They strike first here in this second half. It's now 48-0, and they continue their streak, Carson, of being perfect. Every time they touch the ball, they score.
Well, and like we mentioned earlier, time of possession, this was a 3-minute and 50-second drive.
That was a 7-play drive right there, courtesy of our statistician over here, Sanaya. You hear the band, and here's the extra point opportunity. A rough snap, but recovered by Penny, and the extra point up and good. It's now 49-0. Bulldogs on top of the Westerners. Those students that are running with the flags tonight are getting their steps in for the Wylie Bulldogs. But as a student at a school yourself, you would do that a million times over and over again, right?
For sure. I bet the adrenaline is just running through them right now. They're not even focused on how tired they might be, you know. But after coming out for the halftime break, they might not be tired anymore. They might have got a little water break for themselves.
I got a water break during halftime, and I'm ready to roll here in the second half. Of course, Carson's already known about it. We talked about it during halftime. I'm going to hand the keys off to him again in the fourth quarter. So we're letting our crew in the truck know about it right here.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, we're trying to produce professionals, and Carson's dream is to do this for a living. And so why not give him a shot, huh? I'm ready to see you.
We're going to try it. We're going to try it.
Fourth quarter, it's going to be the Carson Ward Show. And we're just I'm gonna sit back and watch. You actually think I could do that though?
Knowing you, probably not.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. All right, so the Bulldogs tonight, Carson, when you've watched them kick the ball off, they really have not kicked it deep. It's been a bunch of pooch kicks. It's been a bunch of the little dribblers so that they can't catch it, or it runs the clock a little bit.
Well, and they've kicked the ball off deep, but that was at the very beginning of the game. Ever since they started scoring, they've been, like you said, doing the pooch kick because they're wanting to see if, hey, we can maybe kick it to a player that doesn't have the best hands. Maybe they muff it. Maybe a fumble happens. Maybe we get the ball back in great territory. And ultimately, that might be what they're hoping for.
Here's an end-over-end kick. I would say that's probably them kicking it deep, right?
I would say that's a deep kick, yes, sir.
All right. Caught at the 15-yard line. Torres is going to be tackled at about the 25. And here comes this Westerner offense for the first time here in the second half. Of course, they went 0 for 6 and had an interception in that first half. And, you know, like coming out of a halftime break, you had a chance to talk with your offensive coordinators, kind of reassess a little bit. And this is where you have a really good game plan of like, hey, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this. And so this is where we should be seeing something good from Lubbock High.
Well, and like you mentioned earlier, if the same trend continues, we might see a great couple of drives coming out of the gate for Lubbock High.
Yeah, I hope it continues.
Because like you mentioned earlier, they've had a great first couple of drives coming out of the half for the past couple of games. And if that, like I said, if that trend continues, maybe they might be trying to make a comeback.
It's going to be a handoff to Dunkerson. He had nowhere to go. That outside linebacker kept great containment. It's Riley Robinson on the tackle, as well as Larry Smith for the Bulldogs. Yeah, you see him getting slung down right there. The slow motion instant replay shows how hard he was tackled down right there.
It does, and it just goes to show how aggressive these outside linebackers are for Abilene Wylie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just getting to the ball fast, bringing them down fast.
Oh, and it's team. It's the team defense. As that pass is caught by Zach Renya. He'll be tackled after a solid gain on that play. I want to say that was about 8 or 9 yards there, Carson. Third down is now manageable for this team. The whole playbook is open for him.
I would say the whole playbook is, but I would also say, hey, if you throw it short, that's not a bad thing because then you're a little bit closer to the first down if you don't get it.
Well, this is third down, so I feel like... Oh, and that's going to be a free play. Nope, they're going to blow it dead. We're going to hear from our officiating crew here. Of course, Jeremy Todd is the white hat here tonight. We're going to be hearing from him momentarily.
Number 71, defense. 5-yard penalty is good enough for a first down.
All right, so it's going to be a first down because of the penalty, and if you're Lubbock High, you're going to take it.
You're going to take that. You're going to take the small victories. I say it all the time. I'm going to keep saying it for the rest of the season. Small victories matter, for any team.
Right. Lubbock High, we talked about their stats earlier and how balanced they are on offense. They do that specifically a lot in the second half. They show what they can do. They're balanced. They throw the ball. They run the ball. Look out, the Westerners. Of course, they got the 2 quarterback look that we've seen tonight. I'm excited to see what they do here. Do they can stay balanced, right? Because the running game has not been there for them at all. As that pass is going nowhere. It was caught by Ethan Torres, right? We talk about them being balanced. With the running game not going anywhere, right? Do they continue to stay balanced?
I don't think so. I think you try to go to the air more so than you do the run because you want to try to save as much clock as you can to hopefully get as many scores as you can to make it at least make this respectful, if not come back. But you want to try to find the big play if it's there. So I wouldn't, if I'm Lubbock High, I'm not afraid to take a shot downfield.
Let's see what they do here at 2nd and 9. Dunkerson in motion. They're going to sling it out to him. He's got to make the defender miss. The defender makes a great open field tackle as Dunkerson gets about 2 yards on the play.
Well, and that just goes to show the practice reps going and working in the game. Open field tackles. We heard Coach Rod talk about that before the game for Lubbock High, but now we're starting to see that, and we've seen that all games thus far for Wylie.
Right. This defense has been really good at doing the little things right, the little things. 3rd down and 7, 5 minutes to go. Another penalty as there is a Westerner that falls right on his back and points the other way.
Celebrating after that penalty.
Yeah, that would be a fun little slow-mo replay right there.
Replay, 3rd down.
Something tells me Xavier on camera 3 got a great look at that over there. Let's take a look at what replay they chose. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, he sells it.
And you have to. I mean,
yeah.
you want a penalty, you got to sell it.
All right, 3rd down and 2, 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd. It's going to be a pass, a one-on-one with Trinity Arena. He goes over the top. What a catch. 15-10-6. Trinity Arena scores. And the Westerners are on the board.
Give him 6.
Give him 6. And he went up and grabbed that one. He's listed at 5'4", but he went up there and grabbed that thing like he's 6'2", man. He went out there and made a play.
So pass interference on the defense, but they decline it. And a 6-point score.
Yeah, Trinity Arena, he is the home run threat for this Westerner offense. When you're looking for a big play, they usually go to number 3, and he had the matchup that he wanted, right? 1v1, and he went over the top to make that play. All right, here's the extra point opportunity. The extra point up and good. And if you didn't know who that was on that extra point, that was Gabby Trevino, the senior, getting some big-time playing. That is so awesome for Gabby. She told us that she thought she had a chance to play tonight, and they put her in, and she knocked down that extra point. That's awesome to see.
That is really that's
awesome
that's a wholesome moment right there.
Absolutely. Gabby Trevino, of course, been on this program for at least the last couple of years that I remember. I know she was on JV and moved her way up. Look how happy she is as she's running up and down the sidelines, and rightfully so. That is so cool.
Well, we saw her pregame working on a lot of onside kicks, and
she was,
and we might see her again on the field trying to execute an onside kick.
She's got the pink sleeves right there. You see her on your screen, and she's now officially in the point column for tonight as she knocks through that extra point. Congrats to Gabby on going out there and knocking that through. I definitely could not have done it. I would need some practice.
I would too, and it's what I've noticed is it is really hard to kick a ball through the uprights because oftentimes you want to kick with your toes, you know, but you have to actually angle your foot out and kick with the side of your foot.
Yeah, it's the soccer kick.
And for me, that just feels like such a weird motion. I don't know. That might just be me.
Right. No, for us non-soccer players, it feels wrong. But for the soccer players, it's just natural. And it looks right. Because nowadays and it is an onside kick as we talk about it. Yael Ontiveros there with the kick. But the Bulldogs were ready for it as that was recovered by Heath Shim.
And what they tried to do right there is act like it was going to be a normal deep kick, but then immediately turning, running back to the ball and kicking it short. They're trying to catch them off guard right there. Just didn't work out the way they wanted it to.
Nearly caught us off guard. So that last drive right there was a 6-play drive, courtesy of Sanaya over here. She's over here keeping our stats for us, and we're super grateful. or rather a 5-play drive. She corrected me right there. So that's great stuff right there by the Lubbock High Westerners. All right, the Westerners do call timeout, and stuff like you just heard right there. This is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. Of course, up next for the Lubbock High Westerners, they continue on in district play. They have 2 more games after this, and they're always big, right, Carson? Especially when you want to play in the postseason. They'll host Abilene Cooper next Thursday, and then in the regular season, Wichita Falls Rider on the 3rd of November. That game against Rider, Carson, will be the final regular season game in the history of Wichita Falls Rider.
I do remember you saying that whenever Wichita Falls Rider played Coronado earlier a couple weeks ago.
It is the season of finals for them, right? Like, this is it. But that's the same goes for all the Wichita schools. You got Wichita High, which they call it Old High there, and then they got Wichita Falls Hershey. All 3 of those schools will combine to make 2 new high schools that will most likely be in the same classification with Lubbock High next year.
Gotcha.
So we'll be learning new schools, new names, and new mascots next year. And as a mascot junkie, you know I'm excited.
I know you're excited. You're gonna have to memorize 2 more.
I think I
and
can
you're gonna
do
have
it.
to abandon 3 more.
I think I could do it.
I think you can too. I mean, you got it down to a T.
It's a problem, y'all. if you ride in a car on a road trip with me, every town we go through, we talk about what the mascot is of that town. 2nd down and 5. Handoff here for the Bulldogs. Great run.
Wow.
Finding the pocket in the defense and spinning down. That's Jaden Lucero on the carry. He continues to have big plays and big moments tonight.
Indeed he does. And another great run, seeing green grass in front of him until the two defenders in front of him bring him down.
There's nothing like seeing that green striped grass in front of you. Here's 1st and 10 from the 23. It's going to be a handoff to Lucero once again. Still running and finally getting pushed back after a gain of 6 on the play. Lucero's built a little different than the other running backs that we've seen tonight for Abilene Wylie. In the football world, I think they call him like a scat back, right? He's kind of a smaller guy, but he's not afraid to run between the tackles, and he's shifty, he's quick, and he's got the afterburners, man. He is quick.
Well, and when you're a smaller running back like that, it almost reminds me of Deuce Vaughn, like how he can just almost duck, and you just blink and miss him. Same goes with the smaller running backs. It's just they can easily slip through those smaller gaps. They don't need a huge gaping hole to run through. They can just, kind of nudge their way through and get some yards out of it.
Yep, there he is right here. With that carry, he moves the chains. It's now 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. The clock is rolling as Wylie looks to the sideline. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Anderson still at quarterback. It's going to be a handoff to Lucero. He felt some pressure behind the line of scrimmage, was able to avoid the contact, and he'll gain about 4 on the play. You see this right here, Carson, behind the line of scrimmage. Immediately felt some pressure by the defensive line by Lubbock High. But players make plays, and Lucero just made something out of that.
Well, it was like you just saying, the shiftiness of Lucero. Just making plays with his feet. And the way that he just maneuvered his way around the Lubbock High defense behind the line of scrimmage, you can't really teach that. That's just your instincts.
Lucero diving forward. He doesn't get the touchdown, but he gets the 1st down. It's going to be 1st and goal here. Of course, tonight we've kind of alluded to it already. Wylie is a perfect 7 for 7 right now when they have the ball of scoring the touchdown. Foreshadowing, Carson.
I know you're foreshadowing, yes, sir.
1st and 10 from the 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. You think they're going to Lucero? That's who they go with. He dives forward. He's going to be just short. Great job by the defense by Lubbock High from getting a great jump off the ball and not allowing him to score.
Just a great defensive stand right there by Lubbock High.
They hit him low so he couldn't get across. On the tackle right there was Hayden Haywood.
Well, and that's what you have to do with a lot of running backs is hit them low, hit them at the knees, You see that a lot with tight ends because they're so much bigger than the normal defender.
The low man wins.
Exactly.
2nd and 1. Lucero to the right of Anderson. Trips here on this close side. It'll be a handoff to Lucero once again, and he'll be spun backwards. Okay, Lubbock High defense, you're going to make me bite my words there from a second ago. I like that.
I do too.
They're fighting.
I mean, goal line defenses are like that's what defines a defense in my eyes, is because that's what proves what your mentality is, how gritty you are. You know, you don't want them to score, but you know any play can happen, because normally goal line defenses, you're sending 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 extra men, opposed to the already 5 you're sending on the line.
So here we are, 3rd down and about 1, maybe 1.5. 3rd consecutive handoff to Lucero, and a 3rd consecutive time that the Westerners say no. It's going to be a 4th down. What do you think they're thinking over there on the Wylie sideline, Carson?
I think right now, you go for it. I don't see a reason to, but also at the same time, you have nothing to lose if you go for it. If you don't get it, Lubbock High gets the ball deep in their own territory. Your defense has been playing phenomenally, so I don't think you have anything to worry about it if you don't get it on 4th down right here.
I think they're letting the clock bleed out too. It's going to go to the 4th quarter. So that's going to do it for the first 3 quarters of this game. Score 49-7. Hey, this has been a whole different ball game. Realistically, think about it, Carson. Okay. If it was 0-0, we'd be tied at 7. Just saying. Hey, we'll be back with more right after this. It's 49-7. Bulldogs on top of the Westerners. You're watching this game presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
LISD TV will return after this short break.
Welcome back, 49-7. Bulldogs on top of the Westerners. That was a pretty quick 3rd quarter.
It was.
It was a pretty quick 3rd quarter, but we're quickly back getting underway, and it looks like the field goal team is coming out for the Bulldogs. The Westerners, man, they proved me wrong, and I love that. As I said foreshadowing earlier, and I apologize a million times over, they were able to make a goal line stand, and that's something really, like, you're looking for small wins and you're looking to stack some success. That's something to be really proud of.
Well, and like you just mentioned earlier, right now this game's tied at 7 apiece. And now as I say that, it's now 7-10. But this has been a really successful second half for Lubbock High thus far. I know it doesn't show on the scoreboard, but realistically, it's been a 7-10 second half.
Right, yeah, if you're looking at the scoring breakdown and we're looking for the differences in the half, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's only a 3-point difference, and that's something to be proud of. If you're Coach Juan Rodriguez, you know, they always talk about the fight in this team and how they never give up and they always fight till the very end and they never quit. And I think a little bit of it is, one, of course, what he has instilled in his team, right? The never quit, never stop fighting attitude. But then at the same time, it's the school spirit that's involved, right? They want to keep showing out for their fans, the ones that are here cheering them on. I think there's a whole lot of different things that these guys continue to play for despite what the scoreboard looks like.
I think so too.
See the Bulldogs over there on that opposite end, getting ready to kick this ball off and kind of taking their time a little bit.
Well, and I know if I'm down big like the Westerners are here, I'm not giving up just because that's not how I am, you know? And I know these players are the exact same way. They're not just going to give up just because they're down by such a big deficit. They're going to keep fighting because they're fighting for themselves. They're fighting for their team. They want to take something into next week. And this second half has been a great second half for them compared to the rest of the game.
Right, absolutely. All right, here's the kickoff for Abilene Wylie. It's Peyton Stone.
And it's a squib kick.
Yeah, I like that. Brought in at about the 19-yard line. And tackled down at the 30. So that's where they'll start this drive after Markel Wine's return. One last time, can we talk about our food sponsor?
Let's do it.
All right. I want to thank our food sponsor for tonight's doubleheader here at Lowry Field. Our team from Lubbock ISD TV was fed by Chick-fil-A. They've taken care of us all year, and they'll take care of you as well. Carson, how many states is Chick-fil-A in the great United States?
I'm going to go with 50.
Oh, you're going 50 for 50.
50 for 50.
They're in 47 of the 50 states in the United States. Do you know what 3 states they're not in?
I'm going to say Rhode Island and Massachusetts.
Why, Boston's in Massachusetts, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be one in Boston.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Right,
I'm thinking of smaller states.
I'm gonna give you a layup. Alaska, obviously one.
Okay, that's true.
Right. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Vermont.
See, I was thinking like northeast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there. Was it in the area?
Sad day for those 3 states because Chick-fil-A is where it's at. All right, we're in the 4th quarter now. 52-7, and the Westerners have the ball. See Dunkerson there. Of course, he's had a heavy dose of carries tonight, and we kind of expected that a little bit. So some flags come flying in.
It's going to be
multiple Westerners are on their back once again.
It's going to be another offsides with contact. It's going to be a 3rd one tonight.
Penalty, replay, 2nd down.
All right. I don't think he was selling that one as much this time because he's struggling to get up a little bit.
He might have
been. Here's the instant replay of this one. Oh yeah, they got the center and the guard pretty good. Oh man.
At the end of the day, it's about having fun.
That's what we're doing. We're having fun.
You got to have fun with it.
All right, 2nd down and 7, 11 minutes to go. It's going to be a pass here to Trinity Arena. It's going to fall incomplete. Goes off the ground there. Now stop the clock.
Fielding it like a shortstop right there, kind of bouncing right into the bread basket, as you would say.
Right into the bread basket.
See, you are rubbing off on me.
Yeah. Here's the instant replay of it. Just a little too low, and the way he caught that made me think he caught it. Right, the way he started his movement afterwards, and
I think he was trying to sell it to make it look like he caught it, so the referee behind him couldn't necessarily tell.
Technically, if it was a backwards pass, the ball would have been live and he would have kept going, but it was clearly a forward pass as well. Ooh, throwing it on the run. You see the play kind of developing here because we have a great bird's eye point of view of that, Carson, and if he was able to get it through the defense there was a home run opportunity with the receiver. Just falls incomplete.
Well, and at this stage in the game, there's no reason to not try the home run ball.
So here's the punt team. It's 4th and 7. Yael Ontiveros coming back out. And you see the Bulldogs not dropping anybody deep, and it's because of where we are in this game. They want to make sure that they got all their ducks in an order right here, right? Make sure you get the stop.
Well, either that or they might be expecting a fake.
Right. And that is a high punt. Hang time of at least 4.5 seconds there. And it'll be dropped down at about the 39-yard line. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I feel like we've had a pretty fun broadcast, yeah?
It's been a good broadcast.
Yeah, for sure. Looking through some of our game notes as well, and man, we're so grateful for all of our coaches that give us some insight and tell us a little bit of knowledge into their games and letting us be a part of this, right? Because without the support of the administration and everybody, we wouldn't be able to be up here doing this. So,
well, and the fact of the matter is that no matter how much game notes we have, the coaches always give us a little bit more.
They do.
The refs always give us a little bit more. And it's insight that we can bring to the broadcast that we wouldn't otherwise be able to. As there's an over-the-top shot. It's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, I forgot you were supposed to be doing play-by-play there, Carson. I thought about that the second the 4th quarter started. Gage Heighton the intended receiver there. And so, again, we produce professionals here, and we're going to hear from our official real quick. We've been doing this since 1985, right, when Dr. Alice French started the program. And that's the motto, producing professionals while promoting the school's assets and all of that through quality programming. And so, Carson, here are the keys. They're all yours, man. Have fun on the call.
All right, thank you. So we just see a rough in the passer call right there from Lubbock High, and that kind of stings a little bit because it was an incomplete pass. You force what could have been, I'm pretty sure, a third down, as there's a run play that's going to get stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That's great pursuit by the Lubbock High defense.
Yeah, it's Bryson Garza, the guy that we talked about pregame, coming in and swooping through and making the tackle. You like to see that right there as they continue to fight and battle tonight.
Well, and he doesn't have the most impressive stats, but that's only because he's played one game prior to this. But in that one game, he got 2 solo tackles. He had 1 assisted. That, obviously, with easy math, that's 3 total tackles. But he also had a tackle for loss that game, and now he has won this game as well. We see trips on the far side, but you can almost be certain it's going to be a run, but it's actually going to be a pass that falls incomplete over the middle.
I was looking for my stats on Bryson Garza, and I have something a little bit different than you there, Carson. I have him playing in every game, averaging about 6 tackles per game.
Okay, maybe I saw a different one. I don't know.
I don't know. I was just like, wait a minute. I think I had something different. But it's third down and 13 here, though, and the defense, right, similar to what Lubbock High's been doing all night tonight, Carson has been making improvements, and you got to like what you've been seeing.
Well, and I've been really impressed with how they come out in the second half. You know, it really felt like as there's going to be pressure, he's going to roll out, and he's going to get sacked behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's where it's celebrating right there. Coming in and swooping in to make that play was Taji Whitfield. Whitfield, of course, was hurt earlier. We're glad to see him back out there.
We are. But as I was saying earlier, it felt like Wylie was just free and able to do whatever they wanted the first half. But like I said, I've been really impressed with how this Lubbock High defense has made adjustments in the second half. Like we've already noted a couple times, it's been a 7-10 game in the second half. And if you're the Lubbock High defense, you're gonna take that. And now it's 4th and 17.
Oh, there's gonna be a false start.
And it's gonna be backed up even more.
Offense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
So, Carson, this is the 9th play of the drive, and this backs them up a little bit more. But your fact of the night right here, this is the first time we've seen the punt unit for Abilene Wylie.
I was about to say, this is the first time I've seen Keegan Anderson or any of the quarterbacks go trotting to the sideline in a 3-and-out situation.
That's a big win right there for the Westerners, right? They're making adjustments, they're finding their groove, and they're playing a really good brand of football right now here in the second half.
It just makes you wonder if they would have been able to implement this in the first half, what would the outcome of this game be right now?
Oh, it's a bad snap, too. Clark's just going to have to recover it.
He does kick it, though. And it's going to be downed at the 47-yard line.
It had a really good bounce there, Carson, like he could have kept bouncing. I think the Abilene Wylie Bulldog there.
He was just kind of in the way. He didn't know whether to catch it or to let it keep rolling.
Right, and I guess you're you know, as a football player, your natural instinct is just put your hands up and catch it, right? So.
Right. That's your wide receiver instincts coming out in the linebacker, you know, the linebacker in you.
So here comes this Westerner offense once again, man.
So now you really got to expect them to push the ball downfield, try to get it to Trini Tijerena. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I most likely did.
No, you nailed it.
As we see a pass there. But like I mentioned, it's going to be a lot of passes. It's going to be pass after pass after pass, trying to get that ball deep into the field, deep downfield, try to hit that big play. We've been mentioning it a couple times tonight. It's what Lubbock High really needs to hit if they want to try to scratch and claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, Ethan Torres there with the reception. Even more impressive, Carson, was he held on to that ball. He got popped pretty hard the second he was able to gather that in.
He did. The clap and the snap, and it's going to be a first down near the sidelines. Getting out of bounds, though. Maybe a little late contact.
The most impressive part about that play right there, Carson, was the stiff arm. He was able to catch that football, stiff arm the defender off of him, and allow him to get a few other yards. You'll see it here on this instant replay. It was catch, stiff arm, get the defender off of him, and it took the second one to get him out of bounds.
Man, I didn't see that. You caught that before I did.
I'm actually able to see things now that I'm not talking the whole time.
Right. And we see a run from Dunkerson. Wylie's been able to contain Dunkerson very well, but right there he gets a gain of a yard.
Yeah, and you see the physicality there by that offensive line and defensive line specifically. I see a lot of awesome swim moves. Whoever the defensive line coach is for Abilene Wylie, he's going to be happy on the drive home tonight because his defensive linemen are able to make moves to get past the offensive lineman to force him to have to bounce it outside, and then you have those outside linebackers sitting there waiting for him.
Well, and you know right now, he's grinning ear to ear with how his defense has been playing this entire game.
Yep, absolutely. You see some of the tape there and some of the pink that's being repped by the players tonight.
And they're going to throw it over the top. And it's going to be in and out of the hands.
It's Derek Torres there.
Of Derek Torres.
He had a step on that receiver, on the defensive back right there. He showed some of the speed that he has, Carson. Just got to get a little more air on that ball, and if he was able to connect on that, they would have hit the blue turf.
And the pass was there. He had a step, like you mentioned. Had the step on the defender. Just had, like you mentioned, just a little bit more air under the ball. Get a little bit deeper. Maybe if he would have thrown it a split second earlier, who knows?
Right, you're starting to see the sense of urgency here from Lubbock High, though. They're getting to the line.
There's going to be an offsides as they go deep. They're going to take their shot.
He had multiple receivers right there, Carson, and you like that the quarterback, he's a smart young quarterback. He knew he had that free play. Why not stretch the field?
When you see that a lot in college is that they recognize the pre-snap jump early.
Offside. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
But they recognize that pre-snap jump early, snap the ball anyways. That's good instincts by the center. And
Absolutely.
Then good instincts by your receivers seeing that and just going down the field trying to set up a big play for your quarterback.
Coaches preach. Watch the ball. Watch the ball. When the ball snapped, go. And so that's good coaching there by Lubbock High. These receivers, the quarterback, and the center as well, right? You go when the ball's gone.
Exactly, and that's the thing is that the receivers, when they look to the middle of the field, they're watching the ball. They're watching when it gets snapped. And there's a great sideline catch right there. I can't see the number because my eyesight's not good.
That's Ethan Torres again, and he continues to hit that outside edge. I like how fast Dallas Trevino was able to get rid of that ball. He only had a quick window where he was able to throw that football. Again, great job by the young quarterback, feeling pressure, getting rid of it, and hitting a great target.
When we've started to see that.
Hey, this is a big fourth down here as you're continuing your thought.
This is, but we've started to see that he's been a really big target so far in the past couple of drives. There's going to be another quick pass. They're going deep. And it's going to be out of bounds, incomplete.
And it's going to be a turnover on downs, Carson.
The offense is staying out there. Maybe they're thinking there's a penalty, but I didn't see one.
Maybe they thought he was offsides or something in another free play. The way he threw that ball, it made me feel like he was going for a free play. But that was the play design, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
That was definitely what I was thinking of because it's 4th and short. You know, you want to pick up this first down, set up an opportunity for a touchdown, but it's very unusual for you to go deep down the field on especially a 4th down, unless you have to, and it's like a 4th and 18.
Right.
So now we see this Wylie offense come back out.
I think we got a new quarterback in the game as well, Carson. No, we don't. That looks like Anderson still. It was the running back. We have a new running back in the game. Looks like Joe Remenzo is in the game.
And it's going to be a run. Why wouldn't it be? A tough, hard run.
Trying to see if that's a 33 or a 30. I'm looking at the camera over here. 32. Thank you to our awesome camera crew. Jagan Smith was the one on the carry there. First time we've seen Smith tonight. You know, big things about when you have games like this, specifically for Abilene Wylie, it helps with team morale. These guys are guys that don't normally get playing time, Carson, are now starting to get playing time, and that benefits the entire team because guys that don't normally get to play, that are on practice squad or on the practice teams, are getting action here tonight.
Well, and that goes to show how these coaching staff really acts. You know, normally bench players, if they don't get playing time and you're up by such a big margin like the Wylie Bulldogs are tonight, they might be a little curious as to why they're not in.
Yep.
But now that the backups are starting to get playing time, this is what wants them to keep playing the game. You know, they're getting game time reps against a fair opponent.
Yep. Well, it makes you work even harder in the next week in practice, Carson, because you got to see the reps and you want to get your guys ready so you can possibly see it again.
Exactly, and that is a great stop.
Yes, Taji once again. Whitfield getting into that backfield, making another sack. He was there pretty quick, Carson. They didn't have much time to do anything there.
Well, and something that both of these teams are not very great at is sacks. Sacks per game, Wylie has 0. And on the flip side, for Lubbock High, they have 0.4. So these teams are not very used to getting sacks. But you know, whenever it happens, whoever made the play is grinning ear to ear.
Absolutely. That's a big play there.
It's going to be another handoff. Bouncing it outside, getting a couple of extra yards after contact. We've preached about it all night.
Yeah, we have. And again, Jagan Smith on the carry. He showed something there that you like to see from a runner, right? He got hit not by one, not by two. It had to be the third Westerner getting there to be able to take him down. You'll see here on the replay. First contact there. Okay, maybe it was the second Westerner. It was good stuff there. My eyes were lying to me.
But now we see a long 3rd and 13. As many would say, a 3rd and a county mile.
The box is pretty loaded here for Lubbock High.
And we see a screen pass, and it's going to be in and out of the hands. And diving, trying to pick it off, was Markel Wine.
Yeah, you see Peyton Stone here try to go up and grab that one. He had a lot of separation between him and Wine that if he was able to catch that, he could made something happen here. But here comes the punt team for the second time tonight.
I've been really impressed with how this Lubbock High defense has come out in the second half. You talked about it at the end of the first half, how Lubbock High has come out in the second half.
Yep.
And
they've been a second half team all year.
They have, and the score doesn't show that. But realistically, second half, this is a 7-10 game. I've said it 3 times already. I'm going to keep saying it. But
he's going to say it.
I mean, the second half adjustments have been there for this Lubbock High defense.
You know, I was listening to the radio interview with Coach Rod earlier this week, and they asked him on the radio show because it's something that you notice, right? You've stepped up. You do things different in the second half. What adjustments do you make? And he told the radio person, they don't. They just talk to the kids. They tell them, hey, you do these little things. Things are different. And that's what they do. And they just go back out there and they stick to what their game plan is. And something clicks for them in the second half.
Well, and a lot of times.
Oh, no, here we go. So, cameras, let's take a look at the stands. They're about to do their crazy headbang thing, I believe.
Oh, no.
Yep. You can hear them in, too. It's one of the unique things that Lubbock High does, and they only do it during certain parts of the game. So this looks like to be one of their train things.
And I love that it's just the band, but there's going to be a short pass to Trini T. Hirena again.
So they do this little train thing, and then they also do what do they call it? It's like a headbanging thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it makes my head hurt watching it, I can tell you that.
It's been so long since I've seen it, I don't remember what it's called. We'll have to ask Caleb here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Or Hannah.
Yeah, our Rough Rider.
We see trips on the far side of the field there, and it's going to be a quick screen pass, but it's going to be blown up. Man, he got smoked.
He got lit up like a Christmas tree right there. Torres there didn't have really much an option at all. He's just catch the ball and hold on for dear life. It was a backwards pass, so he had to hold on to it. Otherwise, it could have been a scoop and score. Big hit.
Well, and that was it was a screen pass, but it was a really delayed throw by the quarterback there. And you wonder if it was because the running back might have been in his way, or maybe he was really wanting to throw right there, but that gave the defender time to recognize the play and to blow it up before it could even get started.
See the excited fans. You can even hear them in our ear. That's really cool.
And now we see a long 3rd and 12. It's going to be blown dead.
You know, we were talking about Lubbock High in the student section, right? You see that, and you see how this game is going, but yet they're still here. They're still having a good time.
On the offense. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
Yeah, they're still here and still cheering on their team. I wholeheartedly believe that Lubbock High and Monterey have the 2 best student sections, because it doesn't matter if their team is losing, it doesn't matter if their team is winning, doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter what game or who they're playing, they're always going to be there as that ball falls incomplete, and it's going to be 4th and 16.
Yeah, Torres did the right thing there, right? He was getting flushed out of the pocket and close to the line of the back of the end zone, and so he had to throw it, had to get away, and he put more on it so that it made sure that it got over the defender there.
Yeah, and the last thing you wanted right there was for that ball to somehow get intercepted and brought back for 6, because
or him stepping out of the end zone.
Or that too. And I mean, because the last thing you want is them getting more points and making this game look way bigger than it has been, or than it is.
All right, 52-7 now. Here's the punt team.
And a pretty good kick there. Gets a great roll. It's going to go all the way to midfield. It's going to be down at the 46-yard line.
All right, I hear we have a sideline report, Carson. I don't mean to interrupt, with the assistant principal, Allison Haberman, with our sideline reporter, Chris. Chris, what do you got for us tonight?
In schools to build a strong foundation for people to grow into adulthood, grow from pre-K, kindergarten, into primary, elementary school, middle school, high school, start learning all the things necessary to be successful once you do graduate from school. It's very important to have strong leadership that works together, that loves and cares about the kids, cares about their staff, and makes sure that everybody's doing all the right things to be successful.
Nice job there by Chris, and happy birthday to Miss Hager, or to her right there, and of course happy birthday and Siri you as well, and happy birthday to my wife. It's my wife's birthday, so
happy birthday, Miss Ward.
Yeah, happy birthday to a lot of awesome people. We're getting close to the final stretch of this game, Carson, and I tell you what, this second half does have a really big different feel, and I'm gonna let you pick back up on doing play-by-play.
It does, and it's because it has. You know, we've mentioned it a couple times already. This second half has been completely flip-flop, complete 180 from the first half. We saw a ton of offense from Wylie, not a lot of defense, not a lot of much of anything from Lubbock High, and now we've started to see a huge surplus in defensive efforts and stops by this Lubbock High defense in the second half. Still not much of anything offensively, but that's just because Wylie has had such a good defensive attack against Lubbock High, as there's a very good run right there for about close to 10 yards.
Trayvon Curry on the carry. Now, there is something to the style of play changing, right? When you have a lead, your style of change and your play calls will change. It's natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you do got to tip your cap to the way the Westerners have stepped up here in the second half.
Well, it's their heart, you know. Wanting to stay in the game is a big key to staying in the game.
Yep.
If you don't want it, there's no reason for you to try, you know what I'm saying? And that goes with anything that anyone does. You have to want it.
Gotta want it. And you can tell they want it.
And these players want it.
And that's going to be a knee. Carson, that's going to do it here for us tonight. They might have to take one more knee, and it looks like they won't. All right, so Carson, what are your thoughts on the game, man?
I think that Wylie has a great offense. They pretty much scored at will in the first half.
Yep.
They have a great defense. They held the Westerners to practically no yards running, and that is very impressive because you know Dunkerson was wanting to have a good game and a big game. But, man, this is a very complete Wylie Bulldogs team, Abilene Wylie Bulldogs team, and, man, they're going to go places if they play like they did tonight.
Absolutely. They are now 5-3 on the season, 2-1 in district play in 5A Division II, Region 1, District 2. Lubbock High falls to 0-3 in district play, 2-6 on the season. I'll tell you what, I'm excited to see both teams, right? I really like what I saw from Lubbock High in that second half, and I'm excited to see them continue to grow under head coach Juan Rodriguez, and I'm excited to see what Abilene Wylie does in the future as well. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. 52-7 was the final score. Bulldogs are going to be leaving Lubbock with a big win tonight in district play. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we hope you stay happy and healthy, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week as we'll be back on YouTube. But until then, we'll say go Lubbock ISD, and we'll be seeing you soon.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.